Good morning, fellas.
What's going on?
Good morning, Producer Emily. Good morning, Producer Taylor.
Good morning.
It's been a few weeks off. We had the Lakers at early day. Then we had the NBA All-Star break. I decided to put myself in the category of Sliwa in Ireland and be like, yeah.
He just checked out for a few
Guys,
days.
I'm taking the All-Star break.
It's awesome.
Not a bad way to do it.
But we're back.
I just copied John. I'm like, you're taking... Okay, yeah, me as well. Me as well.
Back and better than ever for a Live Imagery Tuesday. Today's a fun day. We've got our municipal pickleball T-shirts that they've asked us to put these on. And as always on Tuesdays, I'm dressed up. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsheath the sports jacket and put the T-shirt on top of the dress shirt. Unsheath.
You're going to go your sports shirt
should I do
over
it right
the
now?
dress shirt. Do it right now.
Are we rolling? Are we actually live yet?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
no,
live.
you do.
Let's see what you got going here.
Yep.
Because your dress shirt is got a lot of stuff on it, right? It's a big shirt. Dress shirts are long sleeve. They're big. They have big collars. This is supposed to be a little more snugly
This is
athletic. Yes, indeed.
Oh, this is snug, I think.
No,
I
it's
think.
fine.
Hey, well, it's supposed to stretch. We'll see.
Well, that's how much is it going to stretch?
It's fine.
I don't like the. I don't like. Let's see.
Just get the back. Just get the back area
You need
down
the hair.
a little.
Come, hold on.
Oh,
No,
hold
he's
on.
fine.
No,
He's
I
fine.
got it,
He's
I
fine.
got it.
He's got it. There he is.
A helping hand.
Right
Trav.
now, Trav's
I feel
helping out.
very vacuumed in,
No.
but we're going to go with it. Thanks to our friends at Municipal. We'll
It's
be
like
wearing this.
It's like a sausage casing.
That's not nice.
Am I spicy or mild Italian sausage? Thanks to our friends at Municipal for providing these shirts for us. Mine, of course, says CMM in the back, my initials. Yours says what? Payback's coming?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Who put that on there?
It's the same one as your paddle. I think it lines up with
And what
everybody's
is
paddle.
yours says Go Gauchos?
Go Gauchos.
Okay.
I was just joking.
We're getting ready. Pickleball fever is really, it's almost, we're getting behind pickleball more than we're getting behind the Mandy Awards. The fever is spreading.
Yeah.
And I still haven't practiced.
I was just going to say, have you gotten out on a court yet?
Well, here's the thing. I've got a busy agenda that day of hosting.
Okay.
So I don't know how they thought, Chris is going to host and he's going to play.
We should put like a Janet Jackson mic on you while you play, and you could host and play simultaneously.
So
Who's your partner?
It's kind of like Will Ferrell when he's the owner of the basketball team, but he's also the
Flint
broadcaster and playing as well. So you got a little bit of that going on.
My partner is the great Matt Burke, one of our marketing consultants.
We're playing with him Thursday.
Yes, I heard. You guys are doing a little practice. And, of course, he was one of our MVPs, I think, from the All-Star game.
Yep.
But anyway, I may have to find a ringer to sit in on Team Sexy Classy. That's our team name.
I like that.
Does Ron have a team?
I think so, yeah.
Because Ron is kind of a ringer. I feel like nobody's talking about Ron
I
again.
think
He
we're gonna
came
get a
in
good
and
workout
closed the game
on Thursday. We're going to
You getting Ron out there, too?
Yeah, Ron's
Ron
out there
and
too.
Burke against me and Slee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to get an
Yates might come.
ESPNLA litmus test.
I just tell you, Yates might come as number 5.
Well, he can stand there and watch if
Clinton
he wants.
Yates?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's an amazing thing about Clinton. I texted him this morning. Hey, are you around? Because usually when he stops by, I'm like, what are you doing here? Please don't come in. This time I invite him. And I'm like, hey, let's talk about the Dodgers Blue review you're going to be doing with Bergie. Let's talk about pickleball. Oh, no, man, can't make it today. Can't make it today.
He's a busy guy.
Man.
Well, maybe
Said he went to the Kings game last night?
This is what it could be. For all the times that you say, hey, I don't want you to come in,
Right.
He found a moment to say, let me throw this back at Chris Morales. This might have been his opportunity.
He's been waiting. He's probably just sitting in his house right now just watching TV. Like
He
he
volleyed
just
it back at
decided
me?
not to do it
World
just
Baseball
because.
Classic. He's got stuff
Well,
like that.
look, he said he was going to go play pickleball with Al, and he didn't show up, so maybe he'll tell you he's not coming, and he will. You
Well,
never know
chose.
with Yates.
It's a little tight to the back. It's because he chose Mace, right?
He chose Mace.
Yeah. So, big night tonight. Not only can the Lakers really, what's the math?
They're 31 and 34, and so are 18 teams.
I was going to say
in the
half the
Western
league's
Conference.
31 and
There
34.
are 4 teams 31 and 34.
They just need to win
They just need to win.
against the Grizzlies. No Ja Morant on the court. But tonight,
Just win, baby.
number 16 will rise into the rafters.
Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol retirement night. Of course, we'll be talking about it all day. But you will hear that coverage live at halftime right here on your flagship radio station of the Lakers, 710 ESPN.
Does that cut into your halftime show?
Here's what
It
I'm
does.
Gonna do. Here's what
Oh,
I'm
my
gonna do.
goodness.
There was a whole meeting about this.
Yeah. This is not good at all.
No, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, the moment they turn my mic off, because that's going to start, you're still going to hear me in the background doing the halftime show.
Now, is this your first toss?
Troy Brown Jr., 4 of 6 from the field. Al, shut up.
But is this your first toss to something big like this? Because, John is a master of leading up. Now you do the soft toss. Okay, let's go to the court. Is this your first toss?
I think this is the first one that we have There's been other stuff that have gone down at halftime, but I think this is the first actual toss.
Because you don't want to do a short toss where now there's 5 seconds of silence. You don't want to step on the PA.
Yeah.
You got to practice.
A lot of pressure, Al.
You might want to get with Ireland earlier and be like,
a lot of pressure.
Hey, man, how can I do the toss?
Yeah. Either way, I'll play it off like it was perfect. Just say, there's just a minute and a half of silence. We're not going right now.
You get Troy Brown's stats in right up until you hand it off to the PA. 4 or 6 from the field, 2 or 3 from behind the 3-point line. And Troy here's Pau Gasol. just
you
run
don't
want to
rush.
Yeah.
Oh, now to the retirement, down to the court.
I like how we picked Troy Brown out of all the players.
I think that's the right guy. I think it's the right guy.
And you got to know your timing of when you get out of it.
Yeah, I think it's 6 minutes total. By the way, it's impossible that whatever the clock that they have right now, it's going to go smoothly and perfectly, that it's going to come back in 6 minutes. Not going to happen.
They always go long.
Yeah, it's going to. I got a feeling it will go long.
Yeah.
The Open's going to be very short.
Yeah,
just to get to toss to you. I've been told. Make it short. Make it
Hey,
tight.
I'll see you, Pau Gasol.
You might want to workshop that a little bit.
Is that English? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that you're going to need to.
I'll see you,
work that
Pau
out.
Gasol.
Not bad. Better. I got your name and his name, but just maybe a half a breath.
I just do my name longer. I'm like Alan Sliwa. Pau Gasol retirement.
Now down to the court.
I like it.
All right, so we got a full day today.
We do have a full day
Plus,
today.
we got a big announcement regarding March Madness. I'll tell you about that around 10:30.
Nice.
Okay?
I drove by yesterday again. I did it again.
They're going to think you're stalking the
100%.
neighborhood or something.
What are you doing now?
Casing the neighborhood.
Since we're going to practice at 1:30, 2 o'clock, you call it anywhere
After
between
the show.
1:30 and 2 after the show on Thursday, I want to know how busy the pickleball courts are. Because when we played last week,
Right. It was busy.
it was slammed. So that's 2 straight shows. When the shows are done, I drive by and I'm kind of driving slow, just kind of taking a look. Like, what is this idiot doing? I'm like, we got game on Thursday, so
There's not a number you can call and reserve?
It's a
can't
public
reserve
park,
public.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 courts were taken, 2 were free.
We'll be
I think
good.
we're good.
It's going to be Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll
Yeah,
be fine.
I think we're good.
And
Plus,
even
if you got to kill time, Slee or Trav can go to the In-N-Out over there in Colorado.
there's a couple in
Yeah.
the neighborhood, and there's quite honestly, In-N-Out is
Kill time, you're
available
gonna be
everywhere.
there. Yeah.
If we're in Pasadena, my old hometown, or at least adjacent to my old hometown, I know lots of little hole-in-the-wall spots that we can go.
You
kill
made that
time.
clear yesterday when you were talking
Yes.
about that burrito.
Yes,
And
that
as-
was San Diego hole-in-the-wall.
I know. But I gave up carbs for Lent and hard booze.
Was that a hard thing for you to listen to?
No, it made me disgusted by you.
Because he didn't finish the
I was like,
burrito.
yeah, you're disgusting.
Why
I'm
am I
glad-
disgusted?
I'm glad
Burrito.
I'm no longer in that same category.
That's the only thing I
Until
thought of.
Easter,
That's the only thing I thought of is that you finished 2/3 of the burrito.
it was the size. It was the size of this
No, I
little
know.
panel
No, I
right
know.
here. It was enormous, unfinishable by one person.
Did you take it back with you all
potatoes.
day, like Homer in the sandwich?
There you are, my pretty.
All right, Travis.
I
and
could
Sliwa.
never stay mad at you.
You're Tuesday right now.
Thank you, Chris.
You
Yeah,
just
no.
have it in the trunk, just the burrito still sitting there with all the hot sauces lined up. I'll be back, guys.
Hand up for honesty, right? So I finished the 2/3 of it, and I'm getting ready to walk into the gym to watch Kelly play, right? And I'm like, I'm not bringing this in there. I have to throw this away. But I had like this moment of I'd been defeated by it, where I had to drop it into the trash can, knowing that it was never going to get eaten by anybody.
So that's the type of, especially a burrito, it's kind of there for the moment.
Yeah.
And if you're that full from it, it's not like you're going to go back to it in an hour because you're not full. Well, the potatoes really just got down. It's
especially a
I know.
breakfast burrito, right, where it's eggs and things like that. Like maybe if you had like a giant regular burrito and it's got carnitas or something exciting in there, but just eggs, I can kind of knock that out at any time. Anytime. I feel pretty good. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good, bud.
Yeah?
Feeling good. I find it. I kind of find it funny. We do the practice that we're going to have on Thursday.
I'm excited for that, by the way.
No, I am too. I'm not kidding. I really am.
So am I.
And I just kind of I don't know how you and I are going to be on the court together, but I feel like we'll
what
be
we're
all
gonna
right.
figure out.
I feel like we'll be all right.
I think we're going to have a really good idea on it. I like what you said yesterday, where if I can just kind of hold down my half when I don't have to move a whole bunch,
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay. You're going to have to be the more active player. You're going to have to be the one to maybe come. You're going to have to cover the in and out more
Yeah.
than I am. I'll be able to cover my area you've got to cover the rest.
Can you be the strength and he needs to be the agility? Because I think you can be like the low ball.
But here's the problem
to the ground.
with our team, as I see it, having never seen you play and you never having seen me play, and me knowing that I'm not very. I don't know how much skill we have. Like, I think we're going to have some heart. I think we're going to have some competitiveness. I think that
I'm slapping the floor before every point.
I think we're both competitive guys. I get probably a little more competitive in those environments than I try to go in saying whatever happens is going to happen, not a big deal. But once the game starts, I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to win once the game starts. I don't know how much skill we have. We're going to have the want. We're going to have the desire. We're going to have the competitive nature. But when it comes to actually executing shots, I think we're in big trouble.
How's your serve?
Okay. I'd say it's a C.
Okay.
It's a C. It's not. I have a strategy with my serves. We'll see how it works.
Going deep? Is that what you're trying to do?
It has to be deep, right? It has to be as deep as possible because you need them to play it back. They have to play it on a bounce. You need to get them. You want to keep them away from the kitchen as long as possible. So
on my serve, what I noticed that every time I tried placing it somewhere, it was out. So then I took the strategy of, Al, why don't you just have the ball land on the side of the court that it needs to be, so then we could just have a little bit of a... I do think that, this could be absolutely 100% wrong. I don't know. I don't think velocity is super important in the serve. I think location is far more important than hitting it really hard on a serve, because you hit it hard, it bounces a little better. I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I think if I can get it deep into that back corner or deep up the tee, I feel like that's the place to be. We'll have fun on Thursday.
I don't know how much fun we'll have, but we're going to get. It's going to be.
Well,
we're going to be collecting information.
The sad thing is I wasn't kidding when I told you this. Kind of had an itch for it, and I was like, I'm going to go play this weekend, and I never played. Now, I really am looking forward to Thursday. Now, maybe I just need to add a little more excitement in my life that pickleball is in there on a Thursday, but I kind of like the sport.
Look, it's
kind of a fun sport.
It's cutting into your prestige TV time is what it's doing.
Yeah.
How far are you?
As a regular TV viewer, you can't let pickleball get in the way.
Yesterday, caught one more.
I love this.
One more of Your Honor. Mm-hmm. And then my girl decided it was time to go to bed, so she went to bed, and then I caught Rami for episode number 3.
Wow, okay.
I'm splitting the two here. They're so completely different.
He's going to be coming in here like totally bleary-eyed, going like 4 hours of sleep, just knocking out TV series
Here's
every
what's
night.
funny is, like, by 11, I'm like, all right, good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, I couldn't do it. And
It's still pretty late for how early we wake up.
The only reason why I caught last week is because they were early Laker games.
Yeah.
Yesterday, obviously, no Laker games, so I didn't have to worry about that.
You're going to catch one tonight after the Memphis game?
No, I can't.
It's 2 a.m.
That's the
You're
problem.
powering through Rami. I'd very much like to see
a
that.
7 p.m. tip. By the time halftime is done and everything else, I won't be getting home till 11:30. If I come here tomorrow and tell you guys I watched one episode, then I have a real issue.
All right, I'm curious too when it comes to the pickleball. Your second time through, because the first time through, I'm like, I'm not so bad at this, and then the second time through, I'm like, no, I'm actually quite bad at this.
Okay,
I really stink at this game. I've been going down the level of skill the more I play.
So that's exactly what Berg said. Berg said the second time around he was worse than the first time.
Too.
I think Mason said the same thing.
Me too. All right, Lakers and Grizz tonight. No Ja Morant. I want to continue the conversation we were having yesterday about when we think he might come back. And like you said a minute ago, half of the Western Conference is 31 and 34. Tonight could be the night, Slee. Tonight could be the night. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 7.
All right, I'm talking to all 710 listeners right now. Let's start off with this. March 18th, it's a Saturday afternoon. Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. That is where I am about to teach everybody a little bit about pickleball. And the reason is because you see my father here is a world champion pickleball player. And while I have never played pickleball, not one time in my entire life, I already got my own racket, which means I'm about to kick some you-know-what. So come on out and support. Be there. We'll all watch college ball games together, and we are going to win.
Stay close to me.
Live Imaging Tuesday. Little red line. UB40. Travis at Sliwa. Tonight, coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. The Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off with this man, Slee. Lakers, Grizzlies. Lakers, a must-win. Again, is it a must-win on the push to the playoffs?
Take 2 of 3 over the next 3. You got to get this one because Toronto, New York will be tough. Yes, must win.
Thank you. I like the math there. Plus, tonight at halftime, you'll
Plus,
hear...
if you see...
Oh,
okay, no, go ahead.
Pau's retirement, the jersey retirement tonight.
Yeah.
He rises into the rafters. Where do you think they put him next to?
I'm putting him next to Kobe.
Are they in
Does it go
order
in
in
order
which
like
they
that?
get inducted or retired?
I don't know if it's like that. I'm not 100% sure, but
Because it's not numeric, it's not alphabetical. What else would it be, right?
I think it would make most sense to do it that way, too, so that, you want some of these players who play together. You want Pau next to Kobe.
Sure.
Right? Like, I think that's perfect.
Will
for it.
Jerry West and whoever was the GM of the Grizzlies back then when they did that wink, wink, nudge, nudge deal be there?
They will also be there. They will get a standing go.
Jerry's got to be there, right? I mean, I know that there's
I
some
don't know.
stuff in the air, but
Will he throw a trophy?
I wouldn't be
lay
surprised.
in his undies and weep.
Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of Winning Time debuted. And
Was
that's-
it really?
That's fresh on my mind because I watched it over the weekend for no reason other than I saw it on HBO Max. I was like, I'll watch the first episode.
When's season 2 coming back?
I don't know.
I know it's coming.
Al, come on, you're on
Yeah, I
top
know.
of this TV stuff.
Well,
you
you
got to
were
know
the one
these
that
things.
was so in love with Zastro. I thought you had
Still
like
am.
his personal number.
Still am.
Zastro, what's the deal? Hey, listen, I'm just a character on that show.
Zastro better be a prominent character in season 2. Like I'm the Bus Family and Magic and Larry Bird, whatever. Zastro
Magic's
all
in
the
1
time.
episode, Zastro's in 9.
Fine, good. Let's go. When does it start?
All right, so according to the teaser they put out in December 2022, HBO Max released a video promoting all their upcoming projects, which promised that Winning Time Season 2 will indeed be hitting the streamer in 2023. Doesn't decide on a time, but it's going to hit this year at some point. So my guess about what the lineup is going to be, I think it's going to be like August, September area, like kind of going into the Lakers season because they have a couple more projects leading into that. But don't quote me on that.
Yeah, you can't get in the way of Succession, Jack.
End of this month.
Succession,
Can't
The
wait.
Idol,
End of
like
this
all the good
month.
stuff.
Cannot wait.
Zastro in August? I'm down.
You haven't watched it, right?
No.
That's when you should get on.
You haven't watched Winning Time?
Winning time I
Succession.
saw.
You haven't watched Succession?
No.
What the heck?
I'm in the middle of Your Honor right now.
Your Honor season 2, it starts a little shaky, but it was fine. It gets better.
Your Honor was good. Or
Well,
so
it was
far
designed to be the perfect one-season television show.
It really was, and
It
I kind
was.
of wish that it
What does that
stayed
mean?
there.
Okay, I don't want to hear
but-
anything else.
Well, did you ever watch it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, gosh.
But Succession is going to be so good. It's the last season
But
now.
what I want to know what
It
one,
could
a
have
perfect
just
one season.
lived as
And just
one season.
Shut the door and we're
Because
done.
everything was closed. And then they opened it back up.
And then they said, let's make a little more money.
Well, sure.
Let's make a
Who
little
doesn't
more
like
money.
that?
Travis at Sliwa. By the way, 10:30, March Madness announcement, okay?
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
Travis at Sliwa continues right now.
Thank you, Chris. 31 and 34. It's the magic number. You guys were saying it's a must-win tonight. I mean, it would be nice to win.
Yeah.
Jaw's not playing tonight. That
Yeah.
would help them win. The whole league is 31 and
I know.
34. The whole conference is 31 and 34. Utah 31 and 34. Portland 31 and 34. Lakers 31 and 34. New Orleans 31 and 34.
Who's 30 and 34?
The
OKC.
OKC are 30
Half a
and
game
34.
out of-
Right?
Half a game from those 4 other teams.
So everybody's kind of bunched together, but tonight could be the night, Al, and I really don't think we've ever said this prior to them having played enough games to be out of the line. They could be inside the line by
On
the
their
end of
own?
the night tonight. Yeah.
Okay, so Thunder got the Warriors, no big deal. Jazz lose to the Mavericks.
Yeah. They could
Okay.
be inside the line.
Yeah, they'll be inside the line.
They could be inside the
They have
line
the
for the
tiebreaker
first
over
time
New
all
Orleans.
season long. But look, they need to win tonight. It's
Yeah.
an important game. It's an opportunity. This was a game that probably a week ago you're looking at saying, it's Jaw, it's the Grizz. That's going to be a tough
100%.
one. And now it's not that.
1,000%.
It's not. Ja is away from the team for an indeterminate amount of time. He will not play tonight. At least we know that for sure. But
By the way, just they also no Steve Adams tonight.
yeah,
Brandon Clark, which is their other big man, tore his Achilles on Friday, so he's out for the year. So they're missing three key players, the superstar.
they had D'Angelo may or may not play tonight. He's questionable, I think was the latest status for him. So we'll see what that means, whether or not he goes. But they could lose tonight and still very much still be in it. The schedule that's coming up after this, you've got Toronto and New York, so you kind of go to the east for a little bit. Then you're right back in the west with New Orleans and Houston, Dallas after that. So you have a chance to – what's the number? Are we still thinking that 500 is the number to be at 10 or better?
I think 500, you're no question about it in.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Can I – you got the standings up there?
I do.
Do you see all the way on the right side it has the last 10?
Yes.
Okay. Look at everybody. The Lakers look like a powerhouse compared to everybody.
6-4 in their last 10. No
Lakers-
one else is over 500 until you get to the Golden State Warriors at 5.
So the only reason why I'm saying pay attention to that, and you don't even have to go up that high. Clippers are 3-7 in their last 10. Jazz are 4-6. The Portland's 4-6. New Orleans 3-7. OKC's 4-6. The reason why I say that is because who's going to run away with this?
Nobody. That's why tonight's not a must-win.
And it's a must-win in the sense that, like you said, it's an opportunity
Right.
that you didn't know a week ago you were going to have, that Ja Morant's not going to be there. It's that opportunity. But the reality is, do you have faith in any of these teams that somebody is going to go on a win 8 out of 10? No
Not
one's going to win
8
8 out of 10.
But I do have faith that the Clippers will win more than they lose.
Can I
I
ta-
do have faith that the Dallas Mavericks will win more than they lose.
So-
Like that not win 8 out of 10, but
Yeah.
win 6 out of 10.
So could I tell you how I have looked at this? I'm not even looking at the 7 and the 8. I'm literally just paying attention to who's in 9 all the way who's to 13.
Okay.
I'm almost not including the Mavs and the Clippers because I'm with you. I assume that those two teams are good enough to start winning some games.
Yeah, if they had a 10-game run where they went 7-3, you wouldn't be shocked.
You wouldn't be shocked. But I'd be shocked if the Jazz did that,
Yes.
or the Blazers did that,
Yes.
or the Pelicans did that. I don't think any of those teams are going to do that.
Maybe not the Pelicans if Zion can ever get on the court.
That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
just you don't know when Zion's going to come back.
The situation that they find themselves in is bizarre because Anthony Davis has been on a heater.
Yeah.
He's been really, really good. Great. I hope it continues tonight. You know where I stand on this.
Yep.
I hope he does it again tonight. They've looked good. You know what I mean? Like they've had some. They're not a team like, I don't know. Use Denver where you expect them to be good every night, but they've looked about as good as they've looked all season long for the last week or so, and yet it doesn't. They haven't gotten above the line. The teams above them are not playing all that well.
Yeah.
But it just feels like this is going to come down to, what do they got now? I think 15 or 16 games left.
17,
17,
including tonight.
Okay,
something
17
like that.
including tonight. It's going to come down to the last 3 or 4 games of the season. That going into when LeBron first went down, we're like, look, this next week is going to determine. They got through the week,
Yeah.
right? They got through the week at 2-2, and it fine, okay, keep it moving. And now it's going to come down to April. They've got 5 games in April. They've got 4 in that first week.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come down to that. They're going to be either a game or 2 inside the line or a game or 2 outside the line or right on the line. No, to your point, no one's good enough to run away and hide, and no one's bad enough to completely crater and fall all the way out of it.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to kind of be right in the mix.
Someone's going to be around. They're going to be 4-6, 5-5 over 10 games. That's where everybody's going to be. So that's why if you go 6-4, like the Lakers did over 10 games, they gained ground. 6-4, you gained ground. It wasn't. Remember, we were talking, and I'm not trying to say the Lakers have a 6-game cushion on everybody.
No.
But 6-4 was good enough to get you from 13th to tied with everybody else for that number 9 to 10.
They're gonna have 4 games left. They're gonna have 39 wins.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, can you just go 2-2 over your last 4 games, get to that 41 number? I'm not as convinced as you are that 500 is guaranteed in. I think 500 is about the spot to be 10th. That it feels like, because look, as we get closer to the end, intensity is going to come up, urgency is going to come up. That as short as we have left, right, we're into basically the last full month of the season. There still are 17 games left. When you get down to where you can count them on one hand,
Sure.
is when I think you're going to shorten rotations. You're going to do all the things you need to do to get in there, and I think the Lakers will be right there.
So this is the kind of the unfortunate piece for the Lakers. When when LeBron was healthy, this was before that they came back and they won that Dallas game. That Monday after they came back, it was, okay, you feel like the Lakers, like you just said, they're playing better basketball. You feel like now it's not okay. Can you maybe sneak into, if Bron was healthy this entire time, you would be trying to see if you can get to where Minnesota is or Dallas is, or one of those teams.
By the way, they still can.
I know.
They're only a couple of games back from that spot.
All right, take Bron out of the equation. You mentioned D'Angelo questionable for tonight. D'Angelo now, I think if D'Angelo is there for predominantly most of the rest of the season, AD, the question is going to be, there's 2 more back-to-backs. Is he missing the back-to-backs? He's 100% healthy, but are they going to have him miss those back-to-backs the rest of the season?
I hope not, but who knows?
I don't have that answer.
Who knows?
If they did, would you be surprised? Of course not.
Well,
Okay.
I'm done being surprised.
So I'm going to leave that one to the side. But if they got D'Lo, if they got Anthony Davis, and you got this kind of mix of players that I like. I think we all would agree after the trade deadline are a nice kind of crew of players.
They're significantly better.
I think they'll get in. The question now is just going to come down to when does D'Lo come back, and some of these key games that we're kind of talking about. Are you on the right side of it, or are you on the wrong side of it?
I agree with what you're saying, right? But they're also in a position that we're looking at this glass half full, right?
Mm-hmm.
That if these things work out, then they're going to be good. All it would take is a 3-game losing streak, and you are right back where you were, right? And after Memphis today, which I think we both agree, this is a game the Lakers should win tonight. No Ja, you should win the game tonight.
Yep.
Toronto, that could go either way. New York is playing really well. New York's hot.
Toronto's a tough game.
That's what I mean.
With you
so
on that.
there's back-to-back losses right there. Then you got to go on the road, potential back-to-back losses. Then you got to go on the road to New Orleans, who is going to be fighting for their playoff life at the. They're right.
This is it for them.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That you're going to run into some things where if you just you lose by a bucket, you miss a free throw, you miss a defensive that happens all the time.
Of course.
And now we're 5 games under 500 again, and now we got 12 games left. They're one streak away from being able to exhale or being out of it.
So, to kind of go through the theme of how the season has gone so far, 3 games below 500. If they win tonight, let's say they're 2 games below 500. That's kind of been the marker of, okay, we're going to start going the other way. It has been.
You're right.
So it's. I think what you're saying about Toronto, what you're saying about New York, what you're saying about the Pelicans, all these games, I mean, there's certain points of the season where you ask to go, hey, if they could just go 2-2 on this stretch, you take it. Then there are certain stretches where you're like, if you just steal one more, go 2-1 in this stretch, that's kind of what it's going to take.
They're going to be really close with a week to go, and we're all going to be holding our breath, and we're going to have spent 79 games going, I don't know, and it's going to come down to 7
and that doesn't
games,
even guarantee
80, 81,
you a
and
playoff
82.
position.
It gives you
just
a
puts
chance.
You a
And
play-in
LeBron,
tournament.
according to Shams, may not be there for any of that. We'll get into that. Plus, Chris has a March Madness announcement. That is coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Oh, you all right?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Okay. I'm okay. Yeah. First fall of the day. Oh, it's on camera.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Dave May.
It is one shining moment on a live imaging Tuesday. Travis and Sliwa. Are you ready here? So you know what he says first?
One shining.
The ball is tipped.
That's usually the first tip of the tournament.
Yep.
You know?
And good job, Taylor, getting the proper, the Luther Vandross version.
Yeah, they did a remix.
So the year
Put
Duke
your
won
leg
in
up on the
2010.
Put your leg up on the table.
No, not
Just gotta do the same
you
thing.
can't disrespect one shining moment.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying I wish there was more energy that was coming out of this song.
When Luther hits later on, when he hits the bridge, it's like 2 minutes away from now. I don't know if I'll make it there, but
Why did they redo it?
it was a female artist, and she did a good version. It just wasn't Luther.
No.
Because you get used to Luther.
Sure.
Anyway, March Madness is coming. You could feel it, Slee.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do a bracket? Are
I'm
you
ready
gonna
to do a
put
bracket.
the banana slugs in there or whatever your team is?
Yeah,
down there?
as long as Jay Billis is ready, then I'm ready to do my bracket.
They are warming Jay up in the bullpen right now. They're getting him ready.
I bet I won the bracket last year.
Did you really?
Yeah, I won the bracket last year, and I was just like, what's Jay got here? I probably went maybe 3-4 picks outside of what Jay picked, and I'm like, yeah,
Well,
we'll
the
run
whole
with
thing
this.
is you pick a couple of upsets early and then chalk after the second round.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jennifer
that's the key.
Hudson. Thank you, producer Emily. And I love Jennifer Hudson. She has some great music, but I didn't need her doing the one shining moment when Duke won in 2010.
It's Luther's gig.
It's Luther's jam.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we go? You bring the music back there?
I want to get to the bridge.
We're almost
Oh,
there.
here we go. We're almost here.
I was going to say 10:35. I think it's back.
So, Thursday, March 16th, to tip off the tournament, 710 ESPN is going to be party, oh party. All the shows will be broadcasting live all day long from Yamava Resort and Casino. That means you could dress up in your favorite NCAA gear.
Yep.
So you can wear an Aztecs jersey.
I'm wearing gaucho gear.
Wearing Michael Cage.
And then
Or
you
my
could
jersey.
you could try
I'll
to
get
throw
a
the
Tony
ball up,
Gwynn.
and then I'll just swat it.
Bam!
Bam! Oh, here we go. Here it is. We made it. Here comes the bridge. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that was good. I thought at that point you
Who
would
do you root
instantly-
for in the tournament, Chris?
I'm a Duke fan. I just said it.
Duke.
I grew up.
The underdog.
No,
Yeah, they're
for
gonna
some
get,
reason,
they're gonna
in-
get bounced early. Don't worry, Chris.
my father used to watch a lot of college basketball, and now he won't even touch it. But in 1990, I just was like, oh, they seem cool. And
Well, yeah, they won the tournament every year, it seemed like at
no,
that
they
point.
won 2 years. Okay,
They were in it every way. You go to 10 Final Fours and something like
He's a
12
great coach.
years.
I'm San Diego State and Kentucky.
and I'm a JJ fan.
You didn't want to get on the North Carolina bandwagon, Indiana and Louisville.
Well, if Kentucky's
were two
out.
off the grid for
If Kentucky's
you.
out,
Yeah, they
I
made
just
the-
thought a different jersey.
So
Duke
third,
made the Final Four in 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 94, and 99.
you know the one thing you can always know about me? I like to pick a winner. Okay, I'm like De Niro at the end of Casino. I could always pick
Ace
a winner,
Rothstein over here.
and that's that. Meanwhile, so Thursday.
Aztecs win a tournament game. All right, go.
So this is 2 days before our pickleball tournament. So you want to come out, press the flesh with us Thursday, March 16th, Yamava Resort and Casino. We're going to be broadcasting all day long, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. All the shows, all the fun, all the frivolity, all the amazing food, the beverages. It's going to be a fun day. So make plans now to spend the first day of the tournament with us, a tournament tip-off party.
Live imaging Thursday that day?
I'm sure they'll want me to, yeah.
Yeah, you should do that.
Well, again, I gotta get ground transportation. It's a big part of my life now.
Ground, like he's at the airport under the ground transportation.
Listen,
It's like,
you're-
you need a
you're
ride. is what
Somebody
you
just
need.
holding a sign.
Your
Morales.
Your fr-
CMM.
Your friend Morales here has, I got some driving anxiety that has piked up. And listen, I will honestly talk about this because anxiety hits everybody. It is very odd. We're trying to get it a little under control. I used to drive the freeways and the byways everywhere. So, ground transport, Yamava's a little bit out there.
If I will make you a deal. If somebody can get you home, I can get you out there.
Yeah, but the last time you did that, it was a little dicey on that way home.
What are you talking about?
I mean, we were hovering a little
He
bit.
wants you slowing down. By the way, if he wants you slowing down,
He got in that carpool lane, And, I mean, he was jamming.
I thought you were
We
like
were.
a
We were moving.
61-mile-per-hour guy.
Not when the freeway's wide open and the roads are dry and the car is in fine
We were
working order.
hydroplaning a little bit.
Oh, get out of here. That's
That
not
speedometer
true at
was shaking around 90. I was like, yeah, this is fun.
Trav's driving and reading a book.
Well, that was the night that we saw Taylor perform in the South
That's
Bay.
right.
So I
Oh,
think he
yeah,
was a
yeah,
little
yeah,
ramped
yeah.
up from the
all. It
performance.
was a good performance.
It was a great performance.
The offer stands. You let me know. If you can get a ride home, I'll give you a ride there.
Saturday or Thursday, March 16th. Make plans that week. You're going to be with us Thursday for the party. Then you could come on out and watch us play pickleball on Saturday. And listen, there's no Kuz.
Maybe Cap can drive you back.
So
Yeah,
Cap,
if you get
Cap
it.
is my Tuesday night driver.
Okay.
And let me tell you something.
All right.
Those are tough rides because those eyes are red. He's talking. He's texting. People are calling. I'm like, oh, let's
See,
just
I was 10-2 the whole way, Slee. I was just right here, like driving school. I was
heavy
fine.
foot trav. Heavy foot trav.
I thought for you, the way you described, where it's like completely quiet, you're driving, I thought like
We had a nice
an alarm
conversation.
goes off if it goes over 65.
We had a nice conversation.
So I got to ask you your advice on this real quick. So Joseph in our fun and games department just joined us a few months ago. Great kid. A lot of energy. He picks me up one day to take me to something, and I'm like, and he's driving one of our vehicles, so the Suburban or whatever, Tahoe.
Yeah.
I go, hey Joseph, I got some work to do in the back, so I'm just going to sit in the back seat, if you don't mind. There's more room.
You got in the back.
I got in the back.
Like he was your personal Uber driver.
Like
that
you
wrong?
do, Travis?
I get in the front, Em. I like to make new friends.
No,
when
I
get in
can't
an
do
Uber.
that. Can you imagine? But I went in the back. Was that wrong of me? I had work to do.
Well, here's a question. There's.
I was like, Joseph, do we have one of those sliding things?
You want the partition to go up? Put the button.
he doesn't even go in the row right behind him. He goes
Goes way back. I like
Yeah, I
it.
used to have the seats that face the other way.
The tail gunner seat, like in your mom's station wagon from the 70s? Absolutely.
Chris is like,
that was
don't
awesome.
talk to me, don't look at me.
That was the weirdest thing in the world, where you'd be in your grandma's station wagon, looking out the rear view, the rear window, looking at the driver. You guys are like staring at each other going down the freeway. That's a bad deal.
Well, when we were kids, God bless my family. I don't even know when we started putting seatbelts on.
Well, did they? Well, depending on the year, it wasn't even a law. A lot of cars still weren't getting made with them.
I don't know. It's like 88. I'm still like
93, you're going to high school.
I'm still like I'm looking the other way without a seatbelt. I'm like, Mom, are you sure?
Were you
Are we
in
sure
that
we're fine with
station
this?
wagon when Oral Hershiser against your Padres got the scoreless innings, 59.5 or
Yep.
2/3? Sorry,
No, but
that was against the Padres. Remember?
It was. I think my mom. What was her car going? It was a Pontiac. It's definitely a Pontiac.
Dandy
I remember.
Don waiting in the wings to give Oral a hug as he came off the field.
And he always had the lounge pants on.
Yeah,
he was always dressed amazing.
You know that I spend an inordinate amount of time watching Dodgermentaries.
No idea.
That Drysdale is in a full members-only
it's the
jacket,
best.
and he's got the
Yes.
like the golf slacks
Yeah.
on. It was terrific.
And an amazing ring on.
Oh, for sure.
No,
Dandy Don.
if Dodger memories existed when I was a child and all I cared about was Dodgers baseball, it would be amazing.
Dodgers,
Now I just want them to fire Dave Roberts
Dodgers,
we know.
and Duke.
and USC football.
Dodgers, and
Dodgers
Duke.
haven't. They won one half-season World Series in the last 40 years. I don't think
That was
they're
5
due.
years old when they won in '88.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Travis,
Yeah, it's
so
been a
it
minute.
continues now.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, March Madness. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Thursday. We don't have too many opportunities to kind of be out there. We're going to be Thursday and a Saturday getting out with our
San Diego
people.
State. So I'm just going to do some rough math.
Okay.
Let's say that they're 20th, right? So they're going to be a 5 seed somewhere.
Yeah, they're 20th right now.
At worst, they'll be, if it just goes kind of based on, they're going to be a 5 seed. They should win a game. 5-12's that bad matchup, though. You don't
Here we
want
go.
a part of
Already.
that. Well, I'm just saying, every year, like a couple of 12s
No, you don't have
beat
to
a
tell
5.
me. I know that.
They
I
should
mean,
drop to a 6.
And by the way,
6-11's a much better draw for the Aztecs.
well, this is what always happens too. Is they'll end up facing like they'll get like an ACC team that's 4th in their conference, and that team is like, do you think we care about San Diego State?
Did you see where the Big Ten's going to get 10 teams in the tournament?
Yeah.
10. So you could end up with one of those. Look, the Gauchos will start the Big West tournament on Thursday. We'll
Yep.
see who they play depending on who wins one of the earlier rounds. They'll get to the conference final like
Mm-hmm.
they always do, and Irvine will be there and say, uh-oh. Irvine's kind of the kryptonite for the Gauchos. I got my fingers crossed. So you can come hang out with us at Yamava on that Thursday, and then that Saturday, March 18th, of course, it is our inaugural Pickleball Madness tournament. Al and I got a little tune-up that we're going to do on Thursday, but you can come out on the 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. The Agape Pickleball Center reserved seating is available. Register at ESPNLA.com. Come on out, hang out, press the flesh, have a good time, meet everybody, maybe have a drink or two. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut. And, like we just talked about, college basketball tournament will be taking place. Lots of TVs so you can keep up to speed with everything going on there. Pop-A-Shot, pickleball demos and lessons. There's a kids zone. There's a beer garden. I'll probably be somewhere around there. Complimentary food and drinks, live DJ and entertainment, prizes, giveaways, 360 photo booth, and more, Slee. 18th, Fountain Valley, Miles Square Park.
Okay, I'm assuming this is single elimination.
I'm assuming.
Okay, if we're out, just
if it's double, we'll be there for a week.
Hypothetically, if we're out at 11 a.m.
Okay.
Play our match, right?
Yeah.
11 a.m. What's the rules from there? What happens from there?
Are you asking when you can leave? Is that what you're asking?
I'm just asking if we are eliminated early, what happens from there?
That's a really good question. A question that we're
maybe
going
we'll
to have
just
to get
hang
an
out
answer
at
to.
the Pop-A-Shot and the beer garden. We'll just do that.
You're asking when you get in. And by the way, it's a fair question. It's a fair question. Let's try a quick call. Let's go to Garden Grove and Steve. Steve, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
You know what's unfortunate? Well, it's fortunate and unfortunate. We got a chip when we got Anthony Davis, but now, fast forward 3 years later, here we are, like, trying to get pumped about the play-in tournament. And I feel like this team is we're, as fans and, people following the team, you're kind of married to this LeBron James, Anthony Davis, kind of D'Angelo Russell, whatever third person you want to throw in. And if these guys have not shown a consistency to stay healthy and LeBron's getting a year older, we really have no capital or options outside of what we have. So I just feel like we're going to be stuck in this for a bit. Thanks again, guys.
Appreciate you calling in.
Steve.
I get it. I understand it. Listen, it's tough to think about next year right now, even though you have to think about next year right now. The reality is, if Anthony Davis plays you 50% of the games, which is not unlikely, that's kind of maybe what you expect more of going off the last couple of seasons, then this is where you're always going to be, right? And Bron is only getting older, and one thing that we saw when the Lakers finally made a trade and all of a sudden you had players where not everything didn't feel like was all on Bron. Bron had a game where he played 29 minutes and then he played 26 minutes. Okay, he played a lot of minutes in that game against Dallas, but that's the only way you kind of think you could preserve LeBron. I'm going to just, because we're in the moment right now, I'm not telling you this is a great situation to be in, that you're 31 and 34 and that you're trying to get into the play-in, but hypothetically. And do you have that thing from Shams? Or if you don't, then I'll read it. Shams basically is saying that, look, anybody who thinks that Bron was going to come back after being reassessed or reevaluated in 3 weeks, that's probably not going to be the case.
I don't know if the Lakers think he's going to be back in 3 weeks. I don't think it'll be just 3 weeks. Likely beyond that. You hope he's back right before the playoffs or gets back for the play-in. That was Shams.
So perfect scenario for the Lakers, and there's no such thing there is no perfect scenario that exists. But perfect would be that final week that you're talking about in April, where you say it's going to come down to April.
It will.
That Bron is there. That Bron is kind of trying to get back into his own rhythm. That D'Lo and Anthony Davis are there as well, and you go from there.
Pau Gasol is hijacking Sliwa's halftime show tonight at Crypto.com. We'll get into that
so
at
selfish.
11. Plus, Hey Did You See with Smitty coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710. All right, we're reminding you that Pickleball Madness, or March Pickleball Madness, is coming up on March 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. It's free for all non-participants, and there's a million things to do, Al.
All right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, hang out. We do these events every time we do them. We love having listeners there. We got our Pop-A-Shot challenge. We got a beer garden going on. So we got everything going on. Don't forget that day.
Games for the kids. Bring the kids on out. It'll be a great time. You'll watch me and Al just wipe the floor with everybody because we're pickleball experts.
We'll be out in the first round.
Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that? Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I thought I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Before we get started, Taylor, I just want to make it very clear that I was a very responsible driver leaving your show a couple of weeks ago. Maybe 80.
I believe that. I think Morales might be overreacting.
Maybe 80 sounds like 120 for you.
I was driving in to work yesterday morning, 80, right? Cruise control at 80. CHP guy goes by me like I'm nailed to the floor. Like, didn't even look twice. Like, all right, I guess that's the new normal along the way. What do you got for us?
Go with the flow, right?
That's right.
Okay, did you see that around 4 to 9% of American adults engage in some sort of open relationship? So what would your response be if your partner proposed an open relationship? Travis.
What was the percentage?
4 to 9%.
4 to 9. I would say...
It's kind of
low. No would be my first. Because, look, here... If I'm being entirely honest, she would have much greater success in an open relationship than I would. There are far more people that would be interested in her than would be interested in me. So I don't think that it's a winning combination for Travis in this particular. I don't get that. Like, I'm not judging anybody. Whatever turns your crank, great, good for you. That doesn't do it for me. I don't want to do that. And and by the way, I wonder how much of this is, I want to propose this just so I can get out of this relationship and go have a relationship with somebody else. Not an open relationship, just get out of the one that I'm in right now.
Or they already have somebody else in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, my response was going to be, okay, well, it sounds like this relationship's over, because if you're looking for an open relationship, you're obviously looking for another relationship. So this one isn't doing it for you. The answer would be no. But I appreciate your time, and God bless you and your family, and good luck moving forward.
I actually have a couple friends that have open relationships that, again, are they enjoy themselves. They have a great time. It seems like the couple still works out. But, again, not my cup of tea either. I'm a jealous person. I don't think that it would be successful. But some people are, different things for different folks.
Fair enough. Okay.
Taylor's like, open all day. Open all day.
Not for me either, actually. Next up, do you know what misophonia is?
I do not.
Misophonia. So misophonia is a disorder in which certain sounds trigger emotional or psychological responses that some might perceive as unreasonable given the circumstance. So what's a sound or noise that drives you up the wall? Sliwa.
All right, I'm going to go back. I think this is the circumstance of being on the road, okay? There are certain types of honks. When somebody is honking at you specifically, and it's not like a, hey, let me just catch your attention real quick. Like, just a quick little honk, right?
It's not a beep beep, it's a bah!
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a aggressive way of somebody's upset on the road, and they actually don't care, and they kind of want to piss you off in a little bit. That one that's the first thing that comes to mind, just kind of a scenario where you're on the road, you're sitting in traffic, maybe the light turns green and you're 2 seconds delayed and somebody they're just upset. That one might trigger a little bit. That's the only one I could think of right out the gate.
I don't know if this is so much it startles me and it bothers me a great deal, or it's the actual sound itself that kind of puts me in a weird spot, is when and it's car related as well, Al, is when you're driving down the road and all of a sudden a motorcycle comes out of nowhere right from behind you, gives that wham, just hauling ass right by. It's that buzzy, high-pitched motorcycle sound that I don't know if it just goes from you can't hear it at all to it feels like the world is ending till they're past you in a fraction of a second. But that high-pitched motorcycle scream drives me around the corner.
So my younger sister, Maggie, so she actually suffers this at a really high level. So it's really hard for her to eat around other people. So a lot of times growing up, I would just be eating my normal chips and salsa, and she can't be in the room. She cannot stand that. She thinks that it's so
the
loud
crunching?
that she cannot sit there without just it makes her really angry. It makes her really anxious. She cannot eat around other people and like that way. So it's something that she can't help.
Did she not go out to dinner and
Yeah,
stuff?
what do you do
So
then?
she would, but she would just be on edge. So it's kind of like
Earplugs
that.
like Bobby Bonilla when he was on the Mets.
It's really hard, and something that it has to be like treated with medication. So she
Really?
does now. So yeah, it's.
I didn't
it's
know
something
that was a thing.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it's. I thought she was just being like hard to. I thought she was
Being
being
a pain in the
annoying.
ass.
But it's actually something that really is difficult to deal with. But for me personally, the sound that I can't stand is
When Sliwa talks.
no, when someone rubs their heels on a carpet and like the sound of someone like rubbing themselves like their heels on a carpet or rubbing their heels in sand, and I can hear it, and it really, even just right now, it drives me up a wall. Especially
Take your shoes off.
I'm doing it right now. I'm like
can't hear
moving
it.
my leg back and forth. I just
no, it
doesn't
their-
make any
it's-
sound.
It's bare heels. It's bare heels on.
Take
carpet,
your socks off.
And it really just and growing up we had sand on the East Coast that was like compact, so it's really tough sand, and so people digging their heels to make little like divots for their feet. I can't even stand it right now. Just thinking about it.
You know, I was thinking about it. When you're trying to go to bed, I don't know if it's like noises outside, whatever the case is. Maybe things like that occasionally, but that one is I've not heard of that one.
Also,
that's a new one.
My house has like the landlord special on our doors, which is just like a bunch of coats of paint that don't really work. So it's really thick. So when anybody in my house opens their door to like leave their bedroom, it's like really loud, and so I can.
Yeah, somebody upstairs. That's an awful one too. If you ever lived with somebody.
Oh, an upstairs neighbor.
Upstairs, yeah.
I got a good story about that. That one lady dropped the word you don't say to another lady, and it resulted in the police showing up. Got heated fast over dishes in the
Very
middle of the
interesting.
night. It was like 3 a.m.
Very
Ladies
interesting.
doing it. It was the apartment building across from. So our building's here.
Yeah.
The apartment building that how close they are is on the west side on Barrington. And some lady comes home from work. She's doing her dishes. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. She's making a lot of noise. You can hear the water running, the pots and pans banging together, and you hear our upstairs neighbor yell out her window across the alley, "Hey, will you please stop? It's 3 o'clock in the morning." The lady was super nice about it. She's like, "You're right. I am so sorry. I just got home from work. Yes, I will stop." The other lady goes, "Whatever, you blank." And she says, "What did you call me?"
What's the word?
I'll tell you in a
We know
second. You hear the gate that separates the two things slam shut. You hear her come across. You hear her coming up the stairs, and she's banging on our upstairs neighbor's door. And anyway, the other woman does not come out. She calls the cops. Cops show up, LAPD, and I come out because I'm like, yeah, I heard the whole thing. What do you want to know? I told her, well, she called her this, and the cop goes, oh, she shouldn't have done that. Like, I see why this escalated the way that it did.
Yeah, the girl doing the dishes, I couldn't be more on her side here.
She realized, she goes, "You're right. I'm so sorry.
My
I will
fault.
stop right now." Then she called her the word.
Yeah, what kind of response did she think she was going to get after that?
3 a.m. She was woke up a little grumpy. Maybe she's having a nice dream or something. I don't know.
All right, let's do one more here. Did you see a list of the highest grossing animated films of all time? So, any guess what was third, second, and first?
Toy Story is
Shrek.
probably on there somewhere.
Toy Story, yeah. Cars.
So Frozen was third.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sure.
Frozen 2 was second.
Jesus,
Elsa's
Frozen.
getting busy.
Yeah. And the Lion King remake from 2019.
The remake.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Had
Travis,
Beyonce in it.
what's your favorite animated movie of all time?
Wall-E. So Wall-E is one of the Pixar movies. There's virtually no dialogue in Wall-E at all. It's all just kind of about I don't need to
Robot
explain
noises.
what. Yeah, and about destroying the planet and being lazy and floating around in a
It's
giant Wall-E cart, which is what I call the people at Disneyland driving a little thing. But anyway, I love Wall-E. It's a great message. It's funny, but it's beautiful, and it doesn't have a ton of like cheesy dialogue. I love Wall-E.
Toy Story. Toy Story was the original. I think that's
same.
as good as it gets. By the way, there's so many good ones. Like I know some of these they make them for kids, but they're also making them for the parents, right? There's a lot of
All of
the
those Pixar movies are both.
it's like the perfect mix. So I go Toy Story.
So have you guys seen Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes,
by
I have.
far the best animated feature I've ever seen.
It's good.
So good.
Good music.
Good for youth, good for adults. Really, really good.
Good job, Taylor.
Thank you.
Spider-Verse has a really good soundtrack, too.
And it's going to have a second one coming out soon. I know Clinton Yates is really excited about that one.
Do I have to watch this too? Just tell me, Em. You just let me know if I got to catch up.
I think you'd like it if you did watch
everything
it.
I got to catch up on.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good. Like, do you like Spider-Man movies?
They
you
didn't
don't even
really
have
do
to
anything
like
for me.
Spider-Man movies.
They
to
didn't do
like
anything.
this.
Yeah, but if you don't like Spider-Man movies, then why would you watch a Spider-Man movie?
So
I feel like that's kind of a good jump.
I don't like
point.
Spider-Man movies, and I watched it, and I really liked
But
it.
you see everything. You are not the test case.
Yeah, you're right,
when you
right.
have a very select things that you go see. Do you like Spider-Man movies is a good litmus test for do you need to
Kinda
see
like,
this Spider-Man movie?
Do you like Mexican food?
Right.
If you don't like Mexican food, maybe you don't want to go
Let
try
me tell you
this.
about this play, Don Roberto's.
Yeah, but I listen.
It's great. Got to try it. Just told you I don't like Mexican food.
She gave me a couple suggestions that I was in. So if right now her suggestion list is on high
that's
regard.
different. Asking for what do you think I would
And
like
it was
is different.
It was
Yes.
a tailored list.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a good resource for that, but she that I saw this is like the list is the things that you haven't seen is the list that
Yeah.
I'm more interested in. Lakers are going to retire Pau's number tonight at crypto.com. What do we think of when you think of Pau first? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. 7
Radio station.
Yes, indeed. What a blues traveler for your Tuesday, a live imaging Tuesday.
Open the safe.
The hook does bring you back, Slee. Travis and Sliwa.
I'm still trying to get over what this woman told the other woman.
Quite a scene.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You guys were talking something about somebody who's making noise?
Just noisy roommates and confrontations
Yeah.
and escalating
Well,
fights.
producer Emily, can we tell that story about your roommate that we were talking about earlier or no?
Yeah, we can talk
So
about
producer Emily on her Instagram yesterday, her IG story, as the kids say, posted a picture of a kitty cat. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Emily has a cat. But apparently it was the roommate's cat.
Yeah, so it's my roommate's cat, and Melina is a sweet older cat.
Meow.
Who she has a lot of anxiety. So
I know how it feels.
The cat has anxiety?
Yes.
Yeah, Cassie.
So
Cassie's a therapist on Thursdays.
This isn't
and
funny, Slee.
Tuesdays.
That's not funny.
It's a cat.
It's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
well, they can take
pretty-
antidepressants.
I didn't know
pretty
anxiety
fun.
was funny to you, Slee.
Cat anxiety
Let's
is.
see how you toss tonight at halftime to the Pau Gasol retirement.
Cat anxiety is pretty funny.
Cat anxiety is great.
Continue, Emily, please.
All right, so my roommate has been unemployed for a little bit, so she's been around the house a lot. So, but when she does leave the house, she will this cat. So she'll like leave her door open, so the cat can like roam around wherever she wants, which is fine. But then the cat gets, as soon as the door shuts, if there's no one else around the house, this cat will meow at the top of its lungs for, I want to say, about 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter what time of day it is. So it's like, meow, like so loud. And until one of us like opens the door, is like, Melina, shut up, or like something like that, or we go and like be around her, or even like Melina can be on the couch with us and then starts meowing at the top of her lungs. We're like, girl, like we're right here, hang out with us, like you don't have to be alone. So anyway, it has to do with separation anxiety from her mom being around all the time. So it just kind of got to a point where like it's been a lot.
It's a lot.
But the cat was chilling around me yesterday. I was like reading my book at a little desk, and she was chilling in the sunshine, and she was being a good little cat. But I'm also allergic to cats, so I'm not like gonna go and be around her all the time. You know, like I'm not gonna go and give her comfort.
Cat's just getting up on her shoulder.
Anyway,
like a cockatoo.
Because we're at this kind of point where like we want
cat
our friend to
face.
have a cat, but it's just I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of. It's just become a little.
It looks
sticking point.
elderly. I mean, it looks like it's about 5 minutes.
It
From.
looks elderly.
It is an old cat,
Yeah.
and
Is
she
it-
has issues.
Look, is it time?
She just got this cat too. She got this cat in September.
I don't think you could.
Who gets an elderly cat?
My roommate. She wanted to.
Sounds like
know.
it's time out.
Whatever. It's like I'm just
No
like
comment. No comment at all.
Don't let big cat scare you.
Is it a big? It's a big cat too. Well, yeah,
It's-
kind of. It looked a little.
It's a little chunky, but not like so chunky. And this cat like will sometimes eat a lot of plastic if we leave it around. It's
Oh,
like,
that's-
you know, it'll eat the edges
sounds
of
like a
our
great
like,
cat.
our trash
Wonder why it's
cans,
not feeling
and then
well.
we'll throw up. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, Melina. Anyway, so I am a animal indifferent person, so I will hang out with the animal if they're there, but I don't really think about animals when I go home, and so it's just like I don't know. I just kind of like pet and then we go on with our lives.
I'm with you on this one, Em. Stay strong.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
But yeah, I don't know what to do with this cat. I can't
Nothing.
can't
It's
tell,
not your
I
cat.
can't
Let it
tell
sit
my
there and
roommate to
go crazy.
deal with this. Anyway,
Anyway.
so that's how we are.
Thank you, Emily. So, Saturday, March 18th, our inaugural pickleball tournament. Thanks to Municipal.
No cats.
No cats. Well, if you want to bring a
Yeah,
cat,
you bring a cat.
Bring it
Yeah, bring
right
a
on
snake
your
cat.
shoulder,
Leash your cat.
like
Leash your
Emily's.
cat.
Yeah, a snake. Bring a snake.
I mean,
bring everything.
I'm allergic to cats sometimes. Depends if I want to leave or not.
I understand.
No, but sometimes I do have. I take the Flonase, though. That helps. Anyway, these beautiful T-shirts that we will be wearing that day from our friends at Municipal. They say the Pickleball Madness tournament logo, and then they have our. You can see them on YouTube right now. Thanks to Municipal for providing that. Of course, one more paddle for our pickleball paddles. We're getting ready. We're inside of 2. Well, we're coming up on 2 weeks, right? Or we're inside of 2 weeks.
It's a week from Saturday.
Sorry, it's a week from Saturday. So come on out, Saturday, March 18th. The list for VIP seating is pretty full, so don't even worry about that. Just come on out and party with us. It's going to be a fun day at Miles Square Park in the city of Fountain Valley.
We do our broadcast for March Madness at Yamava.
Joseph, is that what I ordered?
I don't know what it is.
I think those might be
It's
what
in
I
bubble
asked
wrap.
for. Yeah, I'm going to go see if that is, and then we might bring that in here.
All right.
Anyway, Travis and Sliwa continues your Tuesday right now.
Thank
I
you,
wonder
Chris.
if Yamava has any pickleball courts when we're
You
done.
just want to pick up
just-
a quick game after we're done with the show,
Because
or
it's
play
going
in
to
the
be
morning?
It's going to be 2 days before.
Yeah, a little quick training session.
Yeah.
I might have an update for you about Thursday. So you text Yates. You may need him. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll show you the exchange, and I'm going to let Alan Sliwa decide.
Okay.
You remember? You probably don't remember this. There used to be a thing on Monday Night Football called "You Make the Call," where they'd show you something, they bring a referee on, and is it PI or not or holding, and they'd let you do it.
I already know where I'm leaning on this one.
We'll see. I'm going to let Slee make the call. Pau's jersey goes up into the rafters at Crypto.com tonight. Certainly well deserved. One of the great Lakers of that era. The second best player on a team that won multiple championships, back-to-back championships.
Made it to the finals 3 years in a row.
Finals 3 years in a row, and they don't do it without Pau Gasol. Obviously, Kobe was the number one guy on that team, but
fantastic.
Pau was instrumental to them going to those 3 finals and winning the 2 championships. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to have his number retired tonight. But it's funny, when I think of Kobe, I can think of 10 specific moments, and Shaq specific, Kareem, Magic, even LeBron and AD. Like I have Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, like these guys that very specific moments where Pau, I just remember him as being incredibly important to them winning championships. I don't remember the big shot or the rebound or whatever it might be. I just remember him being really good, and without him, they don't win those championships.
So it's funny because when Pau got traded to the Lakers, there was the shock of what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And remember, it was just 6-7 months before that where Kobe was pretty much saying, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not playing for the Los Angeles Lakers anymore. You guys figure this thing out, or I'm not going to be a Laker. There was times it was rumored he might go to the Clippers, and Kobe was basically fed up with the Lakers, saying, I want to compete. If I'm not going to do it here, I need to do it somewhere else. It was an interesting time in Lakerland, too, because a lot of people are like, Kobe, you basically drove Shaq out of town here.
Sure.
You two were the ones that were winning everything together.
Sure.
Why did you think you can win without Shaquille O'Neal? And Kobe obviously
Shaq goes and wins too.
Wins the first year with Miami, right? And Kobe, in his mind, never thought that it wasn't a possibility. But you just mentioned, right? Pau gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's kind of funny. So it was at the time, right? Kwame Brown, Javaris Crittenton, if you remember him.
Sure.
Aaron McKee, which was a really good story Dave McMenamin has in on ESPN right now, kind of talking about that trade going down. Mitch Kupchak is quoted in it a lot, how they were trying to keep that trade under the radar. They didn't want anybody to know about it because every other team would start bidding for Pau.
Sure.
But they eventually get Marc Gasol, too, in the trade, and a couple years later it didn't look as lopsided. Marc Gasol ends up being a very, very good NBA great player for the Memphis Grizzlies
Yes.
for years. When you say what moment kind of sticks out to you for Pau, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying, that there isn't. If I said Derek Fisher,
0.4.
You got it. If I said Robert Horry,
top of the key.
I have a few of them.
Yeah.
Top of the key is the one that sticks out,
of course
right?
It is.
Pau, I don't think he had a moment, but I'll take you back to this because I think for every Laker fan, you had a moment where the Lakers had a real chance of losing twice to the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. They lost in 2008. They won in 2009 against the Orlando Magic. And then in 2010, Lakers are playing Game 7 against the Celtics across the street at the time Staples Center. And Kobe, part of his legacy, right? You're not going to go 0-2 against the Boston Celtics, are you? You're not going to. He would have stayed with 4 championships and tied Shaq, never had past him, just using that as an example. Kobe didn't have a good Game 7.
No, he didn't.
Right? He struggled from the field. I think he got 16 rebounds, whatever he got. I don't know if there was a specific play in that game, and I know we have one of the highlights of Pau that we can play. Play that, and then I'll kind of tell you what I remember from Pau.
Wallace on Gasol. Backs in, spins, fake, shot. It's good! Gasol got it to go! Timeout Celtics. Lakers by 6 with a minute and a half to play.
That was the play that you kind of finally... Lakers were down big in that game. They're down double digits. They came all the way back. That was you can kind of take a sigh of relief and say, I think the Lakers are going to beat the Celtics in Game 7. Meta hits a shot, too, a little bit later.
Yeah. See, that's the funny part.
I know.
I remember that.
I know.
That bucket, I have zero... I'm sure.
The game, he had 19 and 18 in that game.
Yeah.
That was Pau's moment for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I thought the Game 7, Kobe has a bad night. They don't win Game 7 unless Pau has 19 and 18. That's exactly what he had.
And Artest hits that 3.
And Meta hits the 3. Sasha hits the 2 free throws.
Yeah.
Remember the 2 clutch free throws he hit? You're not wrong on the moment, but I think of Game 7 NBA Finals when I think of Pau.
Yeah, it's funny. I just think of him being awesome. I just think of him being instrumental in getting done what needed to get done. I think of Kobe challenging him. When Bryant was the big boy pants, right? You put your big boy pants on, and he made Pau. Like, Pau was always very skilled and very good, but there was this is he tough enough thing, right? And he comes to the Lakers, and Kobe basically insisted on it.
Yep.
It was, you have to be tough enough because I can't do it without you.
Got to have a killer instinct.
I cannot do this without you. I have to have you be that guy. And he stepped up to the moment. And that's what I think of, that when he had to have it, he had it. Not everybody does. That moment, like, are you going to be here for me when I need you to do this? Yes or no? And his answer every single time when it came to that was, yeah, I'm here for you. And that's what I remember most about it.
You described it perfectly, too. What Pau was to Kobe, you could say Kobe was to Shaq.
You know, it's funny. So we were talking about this morning. The number 2, right? Because I was trying to think of how we're going to talk about this, and I think the best number 2s in Laker history. Well, the problem is Kobe was a number 2. Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson was a number 2. Mm-hmm. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a number 2.
James Worthy was a number 3.
A number 3. So I think the conversation is the best number 2 that never became a number 1, right? Because obviously Magic a number 1, Kareem a number 1, Shaq a number 1, Kobe a number 1. That Pau really never was that guy, the best player on a championship team. And he has to be right up there, kind of in the history of the league. Like Scotty, obviously, is probably the answer to that question.
Anthony Davis,
yeah, maybe.
That's a number 2.
Maybe.
That's a number 2.
That's a pretty good answer right there, too. But he also has a whole nother category that we can talk about when we come back is he one of the great international players of all time? Like, if we're holding our list to 5, like the 5 best, I think there's 2 or 3 automatics. It's Hakeem and it's Dirk are automatically on the list, right? After that, and a lot of them are still playing right now, who are the best Euros of all time?
Shows you where the league is going to.
The best players in the league, young players, they're all European, other than John Morant, who's kind of in a weird
international
spot.
or
yeah, you're right. Not just Europeans, international, non-American players. We can do that when we come back. It's Travis Lee, 710.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good. Oh.
Live Imaging Tuesday on Travis and Sliwa. Tonight, 5:30 p.m., the coverage begins. The Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off Lakers Grizzlies, a must-win. Even though Slee doesn't. And then during halftime, of course, Pau Gasol's retirement tonight. Number 16 rises up into the rafters. And I wish Slee was here to give me something, but I guess what? Was another bathroom break for you boys? Coffee break?
I got a little coffee, a little water.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the only person. I was back. I was here. Got my water ready to go.
Where's Slee?
Don't be. I don't
Where's
know.
Slee?
I'm not in charge of Alan. Alan is in charge of Alan. I'm not.
I mean, how long are we going to go before Slee walks back in?
I don't know. A while.
He's putting off one. He's doing one-liners.
This is your live imaging spot.
Saturday, March 18th, the Agape Tennis Center, Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Valley, 16400 Brookhurst Street. Be there, okay? It's going to be a party. I'm looking at the diagram of the whole location there.
Yeah.
We're going to have the DJs. I'm seeing where the DJ's going to be. Pizza Hut's going to be there. Our friends from Islands, Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, Valvoline Instant Oil Change, Solo, that cool little car. You can see that. Plus, we're going to have some classic cars out there, too. Our friends from a lowrider club are going to come on out with the homies and be part of it. Welcome back, Slee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a bit of a long
break
there.
What I miss right there?
Anyway.
Lowriders.
Yeah, we're going to have some lowriders out there Saturday, March 18th. So, tonight, are you ready with your toss? We talked about it earlier. You're going to have precision timing. This is the first time you have to toss to a live event while on the radio. So halftime will begin.
Yep.
You'll talk for probably 45 seconds, and then you're going to have to know, I got to go to the court. for the Pau Gasol retirement thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want to blow the toss.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too
I don't know
tight.
what you're setting up here. I
You
think
don't
I'll
want
be
to be too
okay.
loose. I don't think you're going to. I think you need to ask John some advice today. He's a
Okay.
pro at this.
I'll ask John.
He's probably
Yeah.
done a dozen of these in his career.
It's a good idea. I'll ask John. Have you ever done one of these where you're throwing?
A few.
Okay.
A few.
And he didn't do them well either.
No, that's not true. I nailed it.
Okay.
I nailed it. Yeah,
he stepped on it. He stepped on the throw.
Not true. I threw it to the chain smokers at halftime of a Rams game at one point. That this was after.
I don't know why that's funny.
That's what it was. I don't know why, but I threw it to chain smokers at one point, and I believe we threw to the halftime show at the Super Bowl as well.
No, I remember the Chainsmokers one because Kirk was like, well, here's what happens in the nickel defense. And then Travis jumped in and went, oh, now the Chainsmokers down at halftime.
No, that's not.
No. Travis says, wow.
To flex,
Thank you, Emily.
To
Thank you
flex
for
on
having
them,
my
Trav.
back.
To flex on them.
Yeah.
Did you wait? I'm gonna wait a minute into their song before I introduce them.
I want to say
Turn
we
my
did
mic
it-
up higher.
I might have been JB though that tossed to it, but like the trophy ceremony at the end
Yeah.
of the Super Bowl, things like that, you know.
Well, JB's a pro.
Yeah.
You may want to call JB today, too, Slee. Just say, hey, man, I got this big
I love
toss.
the setup.
nervous,
I love the
Chris.
setup.
The accusation.
I love this setup. JB is a pro.
Yeah, I was going to say
You?
the accusation, Slee, is that you and I are not.
I'm not saying you're not a pro. I've come in here many a nights and been in awe of how you run the Pizza Hut post-game show.
Thank
you. You run that thing.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, do you see that sound just dropped in? Hey, we got so-and-so at the podium. Hey, let's go here. Let's go here. You're great. But this is new for you.
I like it.
The halftime toss.
This is actually going to go down as it's a good moment for Slee here. Get to introduce, throw it to the POW ceremony.
Yeah.
I haven't had one of these.
Who's the MC of the ceremony? You should probably know that.
I don't think we know.
See, this is a piece of information
know.
you should get before you do it. You're just not throwing it to the chain smokers. You're throwing it to somebody
But-
specific.
Don't accidentally say the Chainsmokers instead of Pau Gasol retirement ceremony.
We
Now
now
the
go to the chain smokers.
I don't think it says on our.
Did you do it for Ozzy Osbourne too this year?
I did do it to Ozzy. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
The disrespect for all the other halftime shows that I do where it's every other show and I'm just talking over them.
Red Panda.
Love Red
I don't think we had her this year.
Or there's like that
Not
Chihuahua that sits on the feet of his.
That was the
owner,
last
and
game.
then they do the
I'm not kidding.
Stuff.
That was the last game. The last game we did. Who did they have last one? The Golden State Warriors Sunday afternoon? That was, I believe it was that one.
Was it the same guy from the San Diego State game who had a Chihuahua in his baby Bjorn?
It must be.
I think you'll probably toss to Lawrence Tanner, the voice.
Could be.
InsideCrypto.com.
Could be.
And now
But
Lawrence Tanner
but that's
with the Chainsmoker. I mean, the Pau Gasol retirement ceremony.
But it may also. I mean, it could be him, but it could also just be whoever's emceeing the whole thing. Because I don't think he'd be emceeing.
He won't
the
be
whole thing.
emceeing, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get ready. I want to hear you ask John.
Could be
his
Billy
advice.
Mack. Yeah, I
Could
will
be.
ask John. That's actually a good idea.
That was the whole point of the bit. You questioned the bit 2 minutes ago, but that was the point of the bit. Travis and Sliwa continues now.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You and I are not professional broadcasters. We're just guys that come in here every day and see what happens. And you just go to the Laker games and chain smokers, Lawrence Tanner, Pau Gasol, whatever it might be, just start spewing
I'm
words.
going to put JB on speaker. JB, go.
He, by the way,
Don't screw it up.
He'd nail it. He'd come in there.
JB.
He would absolutely nail it. All right, so Dirk and Hakeem, are we stipulating that they're at the top of the international player list?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I don't think there's any argument you can make that has those two,
right,
1 and 2.
Yeah, they're and Hakeem slightly ahead of Dirk, probably, right? Just by a hair.
I'm
either way.
I'm as big of the Dream fan as anybody, so
Yeah.
yes, I would
Okay.
agree. And he's got 2 rings, and
So after that, it gets pretty interesting because Pau obviously is an international player, but is Pau have a better career than Giannis already? Probably not. Giannis is an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a better career than Jokic? Probably not. He's a 2-time and soon-to-be 3-time MVP, joining, by the way, Chamberlain, Russell, and Bird as the only 3 consecutive MVP winners, which is bananas. Is he a better international player than Steve Nash, who won back-to-back MVPs?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a better international player than Luka Doncic, who already has become kind of the face of the league to a certain point?
Sure.
That Pau's had this great career, 2-time champion, marquee franchise, which I think is a huge part of it. Had Pau been a member of the Portland Trailblazers, I think it probably feels a little differently. But that Pau's not one of the first 4 or 5 names speaks to the impact that he and guys like Dirk and guys like Hakeem had, that they kind of opened the door where the league right now, the best young players other than Morant and Tatum, they're all international.
So this is let me kind of give you an example of this. if you told me Pau was one of the 5 greatest players internationally to ever play the game, I don't know if I would. I want to let these other players, I want to let the current players play out, right? Like, I want to allow their
Hasn't
careers
Jokic
to
already
play
done
out.
more, though?
I would actually say Giannis is the one that's already done more.
Okay.
He's got that NBA championship. He was the best player on a championship team.
Yep.
So that's why
best player on the team, and it won a championship, right? Like Jokic is the best player on his team. They haven't won a championship yet. They may or they may not.
Yep.
But he's going to be a 3-time MVP.
He's unbelievable. He's incredible. But the only reason why I say Giannis first because he got that ring.
Sure.
Right. So I just put him there. I think when we sit here 5 years from now, you're going to be saying without hesitation, yeah, Pau is a top 10 all-time international player.
Yep.
And I'm saying that just because, like you just mentioned there, the game is – this is what makes the game so special today is people are from all over the world, right? Just take the continent of Africa and just kind of keep that in mind of how many unbelievable players right now are representing the league there.
Mm-hmm.
How about, we've gone through Europe and everything else that comes with it. Luka's going to – if you told me right now, do you want Luka or do you want Pau, everybody's going to say Luka, right?
Sure.
That's what I kind of find.
The difference is that all the guys that we're talking about other than Pau were the best player on their team.
Yes.
That's the difference.
And when Pau was the best player on their team,
Memphis,
you had a ceiling, and you know you weren't going to go past that ceiling. Right? So if I don't think anybody's ever going to play with Luka.
Put Nash ahead of him? Never won a championship.
Pau?
2-time MVP. Like that, Kobe is a
Baller.
1-time MVP.
Steve
Shaq
Nash,
is a 1-time MVP.
Unbelievable.
Nash has 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, now you could argue should he or shouldn't he, but he does.
I think the other question of a point guard that we haven't mentioned, Tony Parker.
Manu.
Yeah.
Right? Manu's another one that is another international guy. Was he
Multiple.
He wasn't part of all
I don't think he was part
of
of all of them. Tony Parker, I think, was a part of.
Tony's got 4.
Tony's got 4.
Duncan's the
Does
only one that
Ginobili
had
have 3?
5, right?
I think Ginobili might have 3.
Yeah.
Duncan's got all 5.
Yeah.
Right? But you're just saying Steve Nash. I'm like, okay, yeah, Steve Nash is one conversation. Now, do I think Tony Parker would have went to the Phoenix Suns and won MVPs?
No.
I don't.
No.
But Tony Parker is also
Ginobili's got
won
4.
multiple championships. He's got 4 too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but this is one of the guys that kind of started it because now put it this way, Victor Wembanyama is going to be the first pick in the draft, right? Yeah. There is no more can a European player survive in the NBA. We're done with that. And we're done with it because of
no
guys
question
like
about
Pau.
It. Yep.
We're done with it because of Dirk. We're done with it because of all of the guys like Gasol that came before. There is no more, well, is this going to work? It's a stupid question now. You either can play or you can't, and these European stars can absolutely play.
Well, this is the funny part, and I love that these international players, especially the European players, they came to the league with their own style. Joker is not like any other player that you see in the league.
No.
Luka looks like he's in slow motion half the time he's driving, and you know what 95% of the NBA players say? Yeah, I don't know how to guard him. I don't know what to do. They don't have to mimic American players. They have their own style, and they flourish in their own style. And that style is slower. That style is more strategic.
It's more skilled.
It's more skilled.
Yeah.
It's not athlete first.
No, it's
basketball player first.
Well, the whole thing before was, can a international player learn the American game? Well, what's happened is the American players are becoming more like international players. Where you're seeing
Kevin
Durant plays like a European. He's a 7-foot guy with a handle who shoots threes. That's an international player.
Kind of copied Dirk with some of his fadeaways. That they're taking pieces from the other players.
That you look at Luka, and he's kind of like more of he's just big and strong and incredibly skilled. And the more I watch him play, you know who he really reminds me of? It's Magic. He reminds me a ton of Magic. Just the size, the strength, the ability to get wherever he wants to go.
Slicing and dicing.
Great passer. That there really is no that if he can shoot, he's a better shooter than Magic ever was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of these things that you just look at that's the evolution of Magic's game, where it's Magic's game with a better shot. Right? He hasn't done what Magic has done. He's got a long way to go to be Magic, but that's what it looks like to me. And there is no more American way, international way. It's just, can you play in this league or not? You better be able to dribble. You better be able to shoot. You better be able to pass. You have to do all these sorts of things.
The game's at a good place. Now, every Olympic that happens, you're going to expect the USA to win.
because of the depth, right? Because we just have more good players.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and listen, Spain, there's Greece, there's Argentina. There's really good countries out there. The difference is the NBA has basically an all-star team, and your country has one or two players that are in the league or one or two players that are all-stars.
Yeah, they got all-stars and Michael Redd. That's how that goes. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Travis Lee.
I'm like, damn, it's cold. You know, I know the heater's already on because they got it. You know, I can barely breathe. They be cooking in there. So,
where's your family keep the heat thermostat at though? 72, 73?
No, it'd be like at 76 degrees,
my wife
man.
77,
I can't breathe.
You don't really usually need a thermostat in LA.
No, even 80 degrees.
Travis and Sliwa, we're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap.
That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey, guys. So...
I am.
Yeah. So there's some interesting developments happening right now. So we were just tweeted at by Bernie Bergman. So this is what he says. Oh, sorry, Bernie Bregman. Sorry, just.
I was going to. Is that like Greg's uncle?
100%. I'm like, Greg just tweeted that.
No.
We've got breaking news there.
Right. So breaking news. So he says, "You guys say my buddy's name on air all the time. My friend is Adam Zastro. Played Zastro, and apparently Adam McKay just took his last name and used it. So I told him about the shtick today. If you ever wanted to talk to him, I can get you in contact."
I think we're going to have to have the real Zastro on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about
when the season 2 comes
Ask
out?
Lee tomorrow.
Ask Zastro.
Yes. That would be amazing.
Hey, I've heard worse ideas. I'm in.
Slee, why is it... Well, no, this is Factor Cap. I'll ask that later.
Okay.
So I looked him up, too, and it doesn't look, I think, like the guy that we're talking about. So IMDb him in the break, and we can talk about this.
Yes,
so
indeed.
This is kind of interesting stuff. Anyway, so not to flame my roommate anymore, but I'm not. It's just she had an interesting thing that happened to her yesterday. So she has been unemployed, so that's why she has been around her cat a lot. And so she was interviewing for a job, and it was a Zoom interview. So she got on the Zoom interview and everything. The hiring person gets on, does not put on their video at all. So it's just a blank screen that says the interviewer's name. And so my roommate's like, okay. And then gets to talking in the interview. Interview was supposed to last 30 minutes, lasted 8 minutes, and was essentially ended really early. So apparently just resumes didn't line up, whatever, but then also don't waste anybody's time. Yeah, I don't think it's a good sign. So, but if you're on Zoom with only one other person, you need to have your camera on. Okay? Trav, fact or cap?
Fact. Otherwise, let's just do a phone call, right? If we're not going to be looking at each other while we're having the conversation or the interview or whatever it is, just pick up the phone and call me. There's no other. Otherwise, it's like oddly passive aggressive that I can see you but you can't see me. It's kind of one of my power moves, Slee, that I'm going to look and see what you're going on, but you don't get to see what I do. Yeah, you got to turn on your camera if it's a one-on-one.
All right, Morales.
You mean just one-on-ones? Like
yes,
if there's
just
a group,
one-on-one.
okay. One-on-one, I think you have to. Yeah. Yes. Fact.
All right, Al.
I'll go cap on this one because
of course you do.
Let's use yesterday as an example.
Uh-huh.
If she doesn't have her video on, the other side of it, while this interview's, I'm turning off my video. Why is my video?
Well, that's a bad sign.
But you're trying to get a job, right?
Yeah.
All right, but why is your video not on? Let's just say, okay,
that's the point of the question.
So, but yesterday is a job interview. But if I'm with you, if I'm going to go on Zoom, I'm assuming we're having a video. But why am I going to turn my video on if your video's not on?
Well, if I were interviewing you and you're coming in, you're trying to impress me, you're trying to get my attention, and I send you a Zoom invite, you're going to have your video on, yes?
Yeah, my first question is, why is your video not on?
Well, the question may be, is your camera not working? But I understand, but what if I just said, no, I don't want mine on? You're going to flip yours off?
So this is specific to a job interview.
Yes.
Let's say it's not a job interview. Let's say...
Oh, that's different.
Let's say me and you, we're doing a call, we're doing a Zoom call. You're doing a call with Tommy. Tommy doesn't have his video on. I'm not turning on my video.
That's different because we know each other. But if I'm trying to get Curry favor, he can't just, it's weird.
Turn the
then
video
again,
off and I
just
start
make
doing
it a
a
phone
robot.
call. If there's no faces being able to be seen, just make it a phone call.
I'm going to send you a Zoom invite tomorrow morning. See what you do.
Taylor?
If your video's on, my video will be on.
I'm fact on this. This is an a-hole move by the interviewer. I mean, who do they think they are, like the Wizard of Oz or something? You can't just hide behind a curtain. Imagine they do that in real life, too. You go in for a real interview and they're just behind a curtain. Who does that?
Yeah, I feel like for her, she probably dodged a bullet because it might not be a place she wanted to work for anyway. If that's how they treated the people, that's maybe probably not where she wanted to work.
Turn on Your Honor again. Just watch another episode. That went quick.
All right, so a group of girls apparently were hospitalized because of anxiety having to do with playing a Ouija board. So they played the Ouija board. Something happened. I just saw the article. It didn't really explain what happened, and then they went to the hospital because anyway. I'm someone who never messes with Ouija boards. I'm like, this is something that if I don't have to play with it, that's fine. No one's making you do it, so I'm not going to do it. But you believe in the power of Ouija boards. Morales, fact or cap?
Cap. I believe in the higher spirit, but I don't know about a Ouija board.
All right, Al?
I go cap too, but if you guys want to bring a Ouija board in here, I'm in.
Are you going to try to contact Bill Sharman?
That was pretty good.
I told you winning time's fresh on my mind.
Write that down. That was pretty good. I don't really think too much of it. Like, I don't think I've ever done it and was actually worried about doing it.
Hey, Trev?
They sell them at Target. It's not a portal to the other side, okay? It's
well, you never know.
No, I do know. That if they were
their stock prices,
if there were this device that would allow you to communicate with the dead, I don't think that they would have them on the toy aisle at Walmart. I think that it's a game for kids, and it's not something that is going to unleash the spirits to the other side.
Okay, that's what you say, Taylor.
That's what people who end up seeing the other side.
Should we bring one in?
No, please. I will nix this 100%.
It's $21.99 on Amazon.
Emily's going to be in the hospital next.
Just
it's made out of plastic.
Yeah, no, I will absolutely veto any Ouija boards coming into the studio whatsoever. So, but anyway.
Why? What are you worried
Didn't
about?
the first Insidious begin with a Ouija board? Wasn't that the whole bit?
Also, but why mess with spirits? I think
that is true.
exist, but why even?
Yeah, but I think the point that Travis is trying to make is the same place that you buy paper towels and sparkling water is also selling you the Ouija board. Right. So I think there's a
but
little
also
bit of
like
just
the spirit,
America.
the spirit can possess anything. I don't know. I'm just no thanks.
By the way, I'm not impressed with Target's sparkling water selection. That's just me.
No, it's okay. Costco's better.
Costco's the spot.
Or Smart and Final.
Taylor, do you believe in Ouija boards?
I don't. I'm in the middle on it. When I was younger, I might have subscribed to it.
All right, let's bring it in.
But yeah, I think we should.
Okay,
I'm going to wear that little triangle thing around my neck like a medallion. Emily will go running out of the room.
You guys can do it on Friday when I'm not here, and you guys can knock yourselves out.
We'll come to you. Where are you going to be?
Nope, I'm not going to tell you.
So he puts his hand on
it. The board will tell us.
Bill, how did you select Jack McKinney?
Yes or no? Jack McKinney would have won all those championships.
All right. So...
Chris, 1 pound of bacon a day.
I'm back on that. I'm back on that, yeah.
Oh, gross.
Back on it?
Yeah, because of the keto. Not every day. Some days are a
Let it go, man. Let it go.
Okay, so this weekend, my friends and I were kind of doing some activities in Malibu / Topanga Canyon, and we ended up going to this place called Rosenthal Wines, which is off the PCH, before you hit the Malibu city line. But we got there like 11:30. First thing we saw was that there was $10 for parking. When we've gone this place before, it was free parking. So we were like, okay, F that. We're going to park on the other side of the PCH and just cross the PCH to get there.
Well, dangerous
worked out fine.
Yeah.
We were fine.
That's like crossing the 405. Crossing PCH.
That Malibu fish place, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Every time.
There's no good spot in PCH to try to cross. It's super dangerous.
And then we get there. It's like 11:39. Actually, the time it is right now, but it opened at 11. So we walk up there. We don't have a reservation, and I'm saying, hey, like, could we sit somewhere? Or, like, can we get a seat? Like, I guess we can like squeeze you in. And you're like, okay, but there are 50 open tables. But sure, okay. But we had gone to another place too. They gave us a 15-minute wait to get stuff because we didn't really plan. We didn't have any reservation. So max you will wait for a table is 30 minutes. Alan, fact or cap? And this is without a reservation. You just walk up cold.
So I'm gonna go cap, and it's gonna take longer for me to find a different restaurant. It's going to take longer for me to end up somewhere else, but this is the same thing with traffic. It's like as long as I feel like I'm moving, even though this direction is going to be longer getting there, I feel better doing that than just sitting and not moving. 30 minutes is, I'll go 15, 20 minutes. 30 minutes is too long for me. I'm not waiting 30.
Trav?
Yeah, for all the reasons Al said, but by the time you get to the new
right.
place, you're waiting another 20 minutes
100%
at the new
right.
place. So now
I lost an hour.
I'm an hour in, and I'm still out sitting down, and I still don't have my martini. So yeah, honestly, it's like a 40-minute threshold for me because that's the amount of time you can get to the next place and tee it up.
Morales?
I'll wait only if I could have a cocktail or at least a place to sit.
Yeah,
and relax.
Go to the bar.
But if the bar's full, then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like that thing too because sometimes they'll give you a drink at the bar, but you got to stand in that little lobby area. That always feels weird too. You're sitting there with your martini, just staring at the other people.
And then the trick
tables.
Trav will do. He's done this.
Yep.
Is like, let's say me or Key said we're going to get dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'll say, well, I'll get drinks. So we're waiting for a table. And then he'll pull just put it on the tab for the dinner.
No, that's...
And I'm like, whoa, I thought you were getting the cocktails.
On one card. We're going to put this all on one card.
Oh, you can move it over? Perfect. The worst is when they say they can't move it over.
Let me get one more drink real quick.
This is...
When they say they can't move it over, I'm like, really?
This is false.
All right, Taylor.
He brings out 2 credit cards. Can you split it?
50-50.
But it's the same name. Yeah, no, I know.
Trav, I had to even it up because he was getting mad about the Bill Sharman thing, so we had to even the score. Go ahead, Taylor. Sorry.
Fact. It's 30
I like
minutes.
the Sharman.
30 minutes is a sweet spot, and it's your first choice in this situation, so you might as well just stick it out.
Yeah, right.
How about that when the place is wide open and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be really tough." Is it?
Have you ever done?
There's nobody behind you.
Hey, listen, I'll eat really fast. I'll get out before all these invisible people show up. Can I just sit down and get a chicken parm, please?
Chicken parm. That's going to take a while.
It's also like a winery. I could stand and drink wine. Like I don't know. I was like, we got a seat eventually, so they made room for us. All right, so there's a show that premiered last week. It's called Daisy Jones and the Six. It's based off a book that I read and I really liked, and it's about it's essentially like a not super veiled allegory for Fleetwood Mac. So it's like Fleetwood Mac, but like this is Daisy Jones and the Six. Anyway, it's about like this 70s era in Los Angeles. But it's kind of a bad show. It's not great, and I was really disappointed by it. So,
but you watched the whole thing?
No, I watched 2 episodes, which is all that was released.
All
so
right.
it's I'm probably not.
That was all that was released. When episode 3 comes out.
Hey, who knows? So, but there has never been a good book to movie show or movie adaptation. So there's never been a good book to media show adaptation.
Show, not movie.
I'm saying show or movie. So there's been
Really?
no good book, show, or movie. That's the statement, and you can agree or disagree.
That's your statement?
That is the
statement. That's part of
and
the
therefore
factor
you can
cap.
agree or
Yeah,
disagree. That's the whole.
I mean,
bit.
The Godfather would pretty much knock that out of the
Well,
park.
I haven't started with you, Morales.
Well, sorry, it just
Taylor.
Yeah, I capped so hard on this, Emily. There's so many, like The Shining.
Yes.
Yeah.
The book was better.
Better is different than good.
Most
was the
books
movie.
are
Good.
better than the movies. Just you want to just get it in 2
The
hours and call it a day.
Is, to Chris's answer, have you ever read The God
I have
Mario
not read
Puzo?
it. No.
It's not a great read.
It's not.
It's not. The movie is otherworldly, but the book, there's a whole section of the book that's not even in the movie. It's not a great read.
All right, Morales.
Another one, To Kill a Mockingbird. It was a pretty good movie and
Gregory
a
Peck.
pretty good book. So I'll give you that one.
I'll go a little more modern here. For TV series, not just movies. Set here in L.A., Michael Connelly was reporting for the L.A. Times.
Yes.
Writes all the Harry Bosch novels,
Yes.
which I've read all of them. I love them. I think they're great. Bosch, the TV show, is terrific.
Yeah.
It's a terrific TV show.
Sure.
You got me fired up. I mean, damn, come on.
I'm not a big procedural fan, so that's why I didn't watch Bosch. But I'm sure people like that. Alan.
I think he said for me, Shining is the perfect one. Shining is perfect description of
The
no.
Shining is so boring as a movie.
What?
It's such
No,
a boring
no,
movie.
no.
I am
I
not
don't
a
think so.
Kubrick
On this
fan.
one. I'm kinda with Emily
it's
on
so
this.
okay. Have you
You are?
watched it recently? No?
No, not
Okay,
recently.
so I watched
it every Halloween.
3 months ago, and it's so boring.
Oh.
Like, almost nothing happens. And in The Shining, the book is so good, so dense. There's honestly very few good Stephen King adaptations because his books are so good and so dense. It's really hard to make a good adaptation.
I agree. This may get a tomato or something thrown at me. I agree with you on Kubrick, by the way. I'm with you.
It's some
I'm with
people's juice. It's not everyone's juice, and that's
What's
just
the
not
other
mine.
one that did? And I didn't
Eyes
read
Wide Shut?
them. Lord of the Rings, I know, killed it in both of the categories,
not
but I
my
wasn't much of
genre,
a.
but
No, it wasn't mine
I
either.
didn't do Why Watch That.
No.
All right, that's it.
Good job, Em. Good job. Chris nearly came out of his chair about the Godfather there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I'm gonna say that is a very strong candidate.
All right. Mike Trout is talking. You heard me right, Slee. He's talking. It's just too little, too late. It's coming up next. Trav and Slee, 7.
All right, I'm talking to all 710 listeners right now. Let's start off with this. March 18th, it's a Saturday afternoon. Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. That is where I am about to teach everybody a little bit about pickleball. And the reason is because you see my father here is a world champion pickleball player. And while I have never played pickleball, not one time in my entire life, I already got my own racket, which means I'm about to kick some you-know-what. So come on out and support. Be there. We'll all watch college ball games together, and we are going to win.
Live Imaging Tuesday on Travis and Sliwa. Little before noon, we are wearing our, well, I am at least, but you guys aren't, our official Pickleball Madness Tournament t-shirts, thanks to our friends at Municipal. Yours on the back sleeve said, go grab that. Put it up to the camera for people watching. Oh, can they see it?
I think they can see it.
That was good thinking then, Slee. Payback's coming. Of course, that's targeted as John Ireland throwing water on you.
Is it? I had no idea.
And Trav says, go Gauchos. So there you go. Be in the house Saturday, March 18th.
Play Pepperdine today, Slee, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Waves, yeah.
Yep. Thanks. Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Valley. Come on out. Press the flesh with us, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Going to be a party, party. And you can see us wearing these great shirts from Municipal. Our rackets, or what are they called? Paddles. Whatever. And watch us play some pickleball. Now, apparently, we've got breaking news about your training that you were planning. You and Trav were finally going to play together this Thursday.
Yeah, because we've yet to get on the court together.
But apparently, not shocking, Michael Rogers has some sort of sporting event, so you're bailing?
He was scheduled to play tomorrow and Friday, but because it's supposed to rain on Friday, they moved the Friday game to Thursday. They play a 3 o'clock game, so Slee, you're going to have to get Yates on the horn and make sure that he's available to
Clinton,
be your fourth guy.
It's Al. Just want to see how your day's going.
I'd like to clarify that I'm not going to play pickleball with other people. I'm just not going to be able to play pickleball.
So does this mean that before Saturday, March 18th, the battle, you will not be practicing together?
We're going to do one Monday.
We're going to do it Monday. Me and Al.
Where? Pasadena?
Pasadena.
Same place.
Okay.
Yeah, Pasadena.
I was thinking of coming out Thursday.
Come out.
But not without Trav. He's sort of my ride back to Orange County.
It's not me. It's my vehicle. It's the Silverado.
That's awesome. He would just be in that park.
Given the certain conditions in my brain these days, I need ground transportation to a lot of places. Anyway, Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
Thank you, Chris. Al, thank you for being a nice human being.
Well, you didn't set it up. You didn't set it up the way, like if this was, hey, Al was going to play, but you know what?
Going to go take a nap.
It's baseball. It's your son. You got to go handle your stuff. But Monday, we'll do it a week from Monday.
I'm in,
and then we'll take from there. Which, by the way, means
permitted.
I'm getting a few in here.
I will try to. Maybe I'll play Thursday night at home with one of my friends just to try to get a little rep in. My knee is finally feeling better, and I haven't played in 2 weeks. So maybe walking.
Is it
around
feeling
banding
better
help?
because you haven't played in 2 weeks?
Of course.
So then maybe you shouldn't be playing.
Hey, I don't know if you've ever known this before, but you know what's weird? That when I went on my trip to Bandon, basically all I did was eat fried food and have beers for 4 days. Okay? Since I've come back, I've been pretty disciplined about what it is that I've eaten.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I feel a lot better.
That's weird. That's scary.
My pants fit a little
Call
better.
your doctor.
Emily, I have sitting and standing pants simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
That I've been able to do this. They should write something up in like a medical journal that if you eat better, you feel better.
That'd be awesome if you called your doctor and you're like, hey, something's wrong. What's wrong? I feel really good.
I got home from work yesterday. I made a salad.
What do you mean you feel really good? I feel really good. Should I come in?
Yeah, my knee doesn't hurt. I'm sleeping well. Everything's lining up.
I'm more positive.
Good. Yeah, I'm in a good mood.
Come in
too.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we got to get you on
We're
some
going to
meds.
change this immediately.
I need what they give you antidepressants. I need depressants. I need to go the other way.
This is bad for business. You should come in right away.
I'm in a good mood every day. I'm getting along with people.
We don't want our patients to feel that way.
It's a mess. This is what Mike Trout said to Ken Rosenthal about his time with the Angels. My role model growing up was Derek Jeter. That was in the back of my mind signing the contract, the way he stayed in one city. But winning is definitely, you've got to win. You get frustrated when you lose. It's getting to the point where we've got to win. That's where the organization is. The fans, they want to see some winning baseball in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's just say yes to this. I really would have liked to have seen him hold the Angels' feet to the fire much sooner than whatever this is. I don't know how much this turns up the temperature. Ohtani had already turned it up, as I think as high as it's going to go as far as the impetus to win games right away. Because I hadn't really thought about this until this morning. And thinking about what Trout said and knowing that Ohtani is getting ready to hit free agency, I'm not so sure, Al, that the first 50 or 60 games for the Angels this season aren't the most important 50 or 60 games they've had in maybe 20 years, right? That you go back to their World Series championship in 2002, it's certainly since then, because let's say through 60 games they win 25 of them. Okay, they're 25 and 35. You can give them a little better. Say they're 27 and 33. They're under 500. They're not terrible, but they're not very good either. They're outside the playoffs. Ohtani's all but gone at that point. Now you're about a month away from the trade deadline. There's all sorts of pressure to get it done. If you lose Ohtani, you lose the most exciting, dynamic, and arguably best player in baseball. If he decides to go, I don't know if that sets off something in Trout's brain where he says, look, man, I got to go. If it didn't happen with Ohtani, it's just not going to happen here. I think those 40, 50, 60 games out of the chute for the Angels, because if they come out in those 60 games and they're 35 and 25, okay. Then we're not taking calls on Ohtani right now. We do have a chance to go to the postseason. It's imperative that they get off to a good start because a bad start assures Ohtani's departure sooner than later. And I'm not so sure that doesn't start a domino effect with other guys like Trout saying, look, I've given you 10, 11 years of my career. I got to go try to win, and you guys can't get your act together.
So here's the problem. The problem with that quote is it's almost like it's disappointing to hear that quote. I'll tell you why it's disappointing. It's disappointing because I'll never forget. This was probably about a year and some change ago where it's the first time Ohtani is coming out public and saying, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. No, this is great what I'm doing. That's awesome. All these individual – no, I'm here to win baseball games that I value getting a chance to go play in the postseason. And I remember when that happened, one of the first things that you trigger is like, hey, Mike –
where you been?
You hear what's going on here?
Sure.
This dude's been here a lot less, the amount of time he's been with the Angels losing, a lot less than the amount of time that you've been with the Angels, and you haven't won a playoff game. They got swept in that one playoff series that they were in. And to kind of just to hear this from Mike Trout, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying that doesn't, for Angels front office to sit there and say, hey, this is a problem. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is Trout should have been the first one saying this, not Ohtani.
Yes, but the thing that I think is interesting about this, and the reason I think that it puts an incredible amount of pressure on him, because you've heard me say this, Ohtani's leaving. He's leaving. The only question about Ohtani's departure is the timeline. Is he going to leave at the deadline? Is he going to leave before the deadline? Is he going to leave at the end of the season? He's leaving. Even if the Angels are really good, I think he's down. I think he's gone. But if they're bad, that quote from Trout, my role model growing up was Derek Jeter. That was in the back of my mind signing the contract. And then he gets to, but you got to. This is the first time ever, Al, where it's been a, look, I fancy myself a one franchise guy. That's what the Derek Jeter part of this means. But it's immediately backed up with, but man, I want to win. This is new for him. And if Ohtani goes and he's looking around and we didn't make it happen with him, I'm not so sure that at some point it's not, hey, listen, I gave you guys 10-plus years to figure this out. I'd like to move too. Because the second he says he wants out, he's going to get out. They're not going to hold on to him just to, if he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't want to be there. This is new for him. I agree with you. It should have happened a long time ago that Ohtani was the one kind of the tip of the spear, but this is new for him. And if Ohtani goes, I'm not so sure that he doesn't follow him right out the door.
So, and I get it, and you're right, it is new. I guess just for me, it's the trigger. The trigger, it wasn't Mike Trout. The trigger was Ohtani.
Sure.
Ohtani's the one that started putting the pressure on. You wish that was the case for Mike Trout. Put that all to the side.
Both of these guys.
But you're not wrong, what you just said. And can I be honest with you? If you're going to rebuild as a baseball franchise, what is it to have Ohtani and Mike Trout, two of the best players in all of baseball on your team, if you're winning
75 games?
Right. 40% of the games, 45% of the games every year. What's the point of having them if you can't build a team and a roster that's competing? If by the time this upcoming season is done and Ohtani is gone, then I don't know if the world is going to end if you start deciding, guys, let's just do a full rebuild here. Let's get as much as we possibly can. Trout will be a different one because Trout is not the pressure that you have with Ohtani, because Trout actually is under contract for a number of years.
The irony of it all, the way that they could get good fast is to get rid of both of them. Their quickest path to relevance is to trade them both, is to move, because God only knows what Ohtani's going to bring. Trout is going to bring something pretty damn close to whatever. Now, he's older, and he's starting to break a little bit, so maybe not an Ohtani-level haul, but they did the top 50 guys in the World Baseball Classic. They kind of ranked who it is. 2 of the top 3 are Angels. Okay? 2 of the top 3 are Angels, and they stink. If I'm Mike Trout, I would have been down the road a long time ago. I would have taken their money and then said, look, you're on the clock. I give you 2 years to fix this. Otherwise, I'm out of here. But it feels like his timeline's a little longer, but that it's finally here.
He's about to churn, or he's 31 right now.
And he's breaking.
And his contract goes through 38.
Yeah, and he's
38
breaking.
years old.
He's still very, very good, but he's not what he was when he was 27. He just doesn't play in as many games. He just it's the availability thing that we've talked about so often. All right, we've talked about the Western Conference, who we like, who's got a chance, who can sneak in. There's one team we never talk about, and Taylor's going to talk about him next. It's coming up. It's Trav and Slee.
Live Imaging Tuesday, a few minutes after noon, 12 p.m. That is, Slee. Travis and Sliwa, as we get ready, Super Crosstalk coming up at 12:55, and hopefully you're going to ask Ireland about the toss tonight at halftime.
Yeah, I'll get a little bit of.
So Slee's going to have to toss to the Pau Gasol retirement ceremony tonight, and you've never done a live toss to a big event. This is your first time.
Like this, yes. I've never thrown a live
And you
toss.
don't want to step on it like he did when he stepped on the Chainsmokers during that Rams halftime.
That's not
Well, you didn't time it out properly, so all of a sudden and out of the field, the Chainsmokers.
No, because we weren't quite sure when the Chainsmokers were coming out.
I see
so
our
I had
boss,
to
the great
fill a
Amanda
little
Brown, is in there. Now, Amanda, are you concerned?
Not at all.
You're not concerned that Slee will not be able to toss on time, that he'll go 30 seconds short?
There really is not. There is no such thing as tossing on time, to be honest with you.
Well, but somebody's going to speak.
Well, yeah, but I've seen the rundown, and there's a video, and then there's
Morales is very
something
concerned.
else.
But at some point,
you do
Slee
realize
has to toss to somebody.
Yes, but you do realize that this is radio, right? So he can really toss whenever he wants, and the
You can do a
listeners
soft
are going to
toss,
have no idea whether it's right or wrong.
But you will know inside, Slee, that you blew the toss.
Sliwa.
You will come in here tomorrow and you will tell us the truth.
No one is rooting harder for you to blow the toss than
Morales,
Chris.
no matter what, even if it's
Cappy
a
is my
perfect
ride
toss,
home, but I just texted him and told him at halftime I need to be able to talk to Slee and tell him, hey, listen,
pull over
we
on the
didn't-
freeway.
We didn't
just
tighten
to
up.
have a
No,
second.
apparently we're going to the game. Who knew?
Okay.
Of course, that's Cappy. He doesn't tell me these things. I asked him yesterday, "Are you going to the game? Because I'll get on the train." Oh no, we're good. No, apparently we're not good. Anyway, so
Don't blow the
Slee,
toss.
Yeah.
you don't want to blow the toss. Amanda's been doing this a long time, and she knows best. But still, if I was you, I would want to practice this with Ireland.
I feel like you're more nervous than anybody.
It's your first time.
But here's the problem. I'm the one that's given him the timing. So if he blows it, you can also blame me.
So from the open, because we want a tighter open tonight, right? We want a tighter halftime open.
Yeah, it'll be a quick open.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to get back to this because everyone's signaling for me to stop. So Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
That's awesome.
Should the Rams go get Lamar Jackson? Because apparently they might be able to. This is from Adam Schefter. The Ravens sent notice to the NFLPA that they placed the $32.41 million non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson. He is now allowed to negotiate with other teams, but the Ravens have the right to match any offer sheet he signs or take 2 first-round picks in return. So basically, there's 2 types of tag. There's the tag that basically gives you all the money, but you're locked in. You have to take it. Then there's this one, which is, here's the number. Go shop it around and see if you can do better. And if you do, we can decide whether we want to match it or not. Lamar Jackson, pretty good player. Pretty exciting player. Like, people get on board with Lamar Jackson, I think, very, very quickly.
Listen, I'm a fan of his style. I'm a fan of his game. He's had a lot of success in Baltimore, not the success you want in the postseason. But are people just done with Stafford?
I think Stafford may be done. Not like, but look, there was a
saying?
story that came out that basically he couldn't throw the ball all season last year, that he was just badly banged up. There's still buzz that he may walk away at some, that it's not, even though he said I'm playing. It's just, and the Rams are in a weird spot that Floyd's on the block, Ramsey's on the block, that they're trying to trade Allen Robinson. They've already cut Bobby Wagner loose. They got a bunch of their biggest stars are either on their way out or already out. That's a hell of a way to kind of restart.
All right, you're the Rams guy. What would you do?
No, not a chance. I want the kid that's playing for SC. I want him. Younger, cheaper,
So
local.
play out this year.
Yeah.
Not knowing Stafford's health, but it sounds like.
Well, it's different. All of a sudden, it's really kind of obvious what they're doing, right? This doesn't. Let me ask you guys this: have you read or seen? And I read everything there is to read about the Rams and listen to everything there is to listen to about the Rams. Is anyone saying that? Hey, listen. Everything that could go wrong with them did last year. They're not nearly as bad as they look. They're going to be fine. You've seen that anywhere?
Yes, you. Remember when you listed, and they were fair. It was a fair list.
It's a long list, but the consensus seems to be this is a team that's in transition, and they need to start thinking about what's coming next.
Yep.
That Sean McVay may be on board with look, there's a difference between we've got a bad team and I'm ready for a bad team and we're going to start rebuilding this to I thought we were going to be really good and we were lousy, which is what it was last year. Just the mindset of that whole thing is different. I think there's a chance that they could have another season like they did. It's not guaranteed, but they could have another very tough season. Caleb Williams is the prize, not Lamar Jackson. Caleb Williams is the prize at the end of that tunnel as far as interest, local, authentic, homegrown. Like all of these guys we talk about, other than Cooper Kupp, they're not homegrown Rams. They're St. Louis guys that came here, were traded acquisitions. Kupp's kind of the local dude.
Well, here's the problem. How many teams this year that by the time you're 7-8 weeks into the season and they know we ain't going anywhere? At what point do those teams start saying there's going to be 10 teams that say, yeah, it's in our best interest to go the other way than to go forward? Rams might be one of those teams. But what you're competing with, the chances to get Caleb Williams versus the actual opportunity to get him versus a player like Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying go get Lamar. I think my question is more, what's Stafford's health going to be? The question of, or the opportunity of trying to get someone like that versus someone that could basically be there if you meet the right number. Baltimore probably.
It's a hell of a way to reboot it. He'll be back in Baltimore. That seems like one of those, everybody's going to song and dance and do their thing, and he's going to end up right back where he started. Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet. and you and I are not going to care that much about it. We talked about
we wanted him to be a Raider.
Yeah, I guess he still could, but it seems very unlikely. All right, let's go back to the Lakers for a sec. Pau, tonight is the retirement ceremony. We've talked about the Lakers getting back into the finals, winning the conference, or at least getting a deep run in the conference. We've talked about the Clippers. We've talked about the teams at the top.
Everybody.
We've talked about the Nuggets being the number 1 seed. Memphis is the number 2 seed. I'm going to skip over the number 3 seed for a second. We've talked Golden State has the pedigree. We're talking about the Phoenix team that has Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. You're talking about a Dallas team with 2 megastars in Luka and Kyrie. The Sacramento Kings are the 3rd team in the West.
Yeah.
A half game behind Memphis for the second
by
spot.
the time today's all said and done, I don't know what their head-to-head is. They might be the number 2.
They could be the number 2 team in the Western Conference, and no one is saying, hey, you know who could actually win this conference are the Sacramento Kings. Taylor, give me a scenario where the Sacramento Kings win the Western Conference.
I think the reason that you talked about that bodes well for the Kings is that they haven't been talked about this entire season. Mm-hmm. And the pressure isn't on them. It's on teams like Denver to not choke away Joker's glory years. It's on the Grizzlies without John Moran. It's on Phoenix, Dallas to kind of get their act together. Another reason is the Kings' road record. To win in the playoffs, you have to win on the road, and they have the best road record in the entire Western Conference.
That's a great stat, by the way. Also,
they have an unselfish 1-2 punch in Fox and Sabonis. So you also know who's going to have the ball at the end of the game in clutch time. That's De'Aaron Fox. He leads the league in clutch points and shooting percentage in the clutch moments. And Sabonis, he doesn't have to score to affect a game. He can lead, or he actually is leading the league in rebounding, and he leads the Kings in assists. He loves getting teammates involved. There's a bunch of reasons here. And I'm knocking on wood, but the Kings have had a pretty healthy season thus far. They also have a championship coach, Mike Brown, and a little bit of championship experience with Harrison Barnes. I just love the fact that not everybody's talking about him because
nobody. And all of that's a compelling case for. Listen, I don't think they're going to win the West, but that's a case of why they could at least hang around for a while, make it really, really interesting. The Lakers and the Clippers. The Lakers are below the line. The Clippers are barely hanging on inside the line.
Yep.
And they get it. The Clippers will throw it in gear. LeBron and AD down the stretch. If they're healthy, you don't want to mess with them. They're a half game out of the number 2 spot.
So I actually think, and the Kings get this much worse than everybody else, but let me just give you a great example. You know who basically nobody is picking to come out of the Western Conference for the most part? If I told you, hey, there's 5 different people
other than Sacramento?
Other than Sacramento. There's 5 different people that cover the NBA.
Denver.
It's very rare when people say Denver, okay? And I think this is very common in every sport. Until you actually make it to the finals, there's hesitation to pick that team in the finals.
Mm-hmm. You know what the exception to that was? When the Warriors went for the first time a few years ago. Like, people saw the Warriors coming, even though they hadn't. I think the Clippers beat them in the first round. They
did early on.
And it was next year, the Warriors are going to be a real problem, and they were, and they won a championship that in the very next season.
The difference with the Sacramento Kings, this is why it goes to another level. They haven't made the playoffs since 2006.
Right.
So this isn't a team that, hey, well, they were there last year and they lost in the first round, and they were there the year before and they lost in the first round. I think it's just natural. Listen, I'm a fan of, I got no problem with teams like that are under the radar. They don't need the attention. They're representing a market that really cares about them. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that kind of that underdog team. But when none of these guys have ever been to the playoffs together. Mm-hmm. That's why there's that hesitation. Even a team like Denver, who's got the best record in the West, have been to the playoffs a couple years, have guys. Remember, they got to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. Even them, they're not getting the respect.
So I got a question for you, Taylor, as for whether or not the Kings could be vulnerable to what I'm about to lay out for you. Okay, having not watched them nearly as much as you have, you tell me this. Is there a potential of we've already accomplished what we wanted to accomplish? We're good. We're in the playoffs for the first time, which I'll say since 2006. We are no longer the laughingstock of the league. That just being in the playoffs is an incredibly successful run. Therefore, the urgency, the opportunity, this isn't hey, this might be our only shot. We got to get this done. We've already accomplished something that nobody thought we could do.
I think that's more so with the fans. Like, as a fan myself, I'd be happy,
First round exit, you're still okay?
I'd be okay. I can Just because
not
I'm
if
looking
they're
at
the second seed, not if they're the third seed.
That's just
Gotta
because
get around.
of the expectation
I think so,
coming
too.
into this season, and because I'm looking at the future too.
But can
like,
it change? Can it change? Like I think for most, I'm assuming this for most Kings fans, that because you had this much success all season long, and I get it, you made the playoffs, everything else, got to win a round. They're number 2.
Yeah.
If they got Minnesota in the first round, or
I
they
agree
have
with you.
Dallas in the first round, you got a legitimate shot.
I agree with you. You can't be they could be the number 2. They're almost certainly going to be the number 3 unless Phoenix gets. There's just not enough games really to reel them in at this point.
Yeah,
they're gonna be a high.
Gonna be some
they're gonna have
pressure.
home court advantage. They should win this thing.
But I don't think
for
the players are satisfied. I think they have more of a hunger than the fans.
Light the beam, Slee. Light the bleam. The bleam. You guys should start calling it the bleam.
They did.
Light the bleam.
There should also be multiple beams for each playoff series that you eventually maybe, knocking on wood, win.
But silver, purple, white, black. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
is
if
there
we-
a black
if
beam?
we get
I
there.
don't know.
I think it's at night. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, they only light it during
It's
the day.
on.
But
Yeah,
also
but
only
it's
if they
black,
win.
guys.
You can't do
It's
it
dark.
for each game, but it's only if they win.
When the sun comes up, we do the black beam. The sun goes down, we do the white beam.
24 hours.
It's the beam.
The electricity bill.
Always lit along the way. So watching the Dodgers and Padres in spring training yesterday, Slee, and I got a question for you about when I should start to get excited about this. It's next. It's Travis Slee, 710.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Oh, you all right?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Okay. I'm okay. Yeah. First fall of the day. Oh, it's on camera.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
I'm Imaging Tuesday with Travis and Sliwa. So apparently, Amanda was giving me the breakdown. You will have a 1 minute tonight for
Okay.
Pau Gasol's retirement
Yep.
ceremony. So the open, it'll be a compressed open.
Compressed
time-wise.
open. Yep.
We'll throw to you.
So
Okay.
when the open is done, I have
You
1 minute.
You have 1 minute
Got
then
it.
to hit the mark.
Got it.
So you don't want to screw it up. You
But
don't want
this
to go.
is if things are on time. You have to remember that these things never go on time.
You don't want to. You don't
Yeah.
want to. It's like front loading your.
You don't want to
golf swing.
step on Pau. Let's
Right.
just put it that way. That's the only thing you don't want.
You don't want to have 55 seconds of material on Troy Brown.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, Pau Gasol, let's go to the
Can't
court.
use Troy Brown. I already used that one. You got to give a different player.
Guys, here's 55 seconds
Jared
on Bill.
Vanderbilt?
Oh, you stepped
He
on my
doesn't know
bed.
any other players.
Here's 55 seconds on Bill Sharman's glory. Oh wait, we got to go to Pau Gasol. Are you going to say
you're gonna
now,
do fine.
take it away,
Pau-
Pau, like you're his friend?
Pau's jersey, they're already done with it, and I'm like, let's throw it
Well,
to
you're
Pau.
going to have to do the play-by-play, Sliwa, of them unveiling the jersey.
Oh yeah, wow, you just threw a lot. Maybe you just tossed this whole thing to John.
So, like, when Chris does the voice and brings it back,
Yeah.
and tosses to you, and you're going to be like, oh, and now the spotlight is on
Actually,
Pau's
Mario
jersey
tosses to you.
in the rafters.
So he only wants a Mario toss.
Yeah, then
That's
we're
in your
good.
contract.
Then we're good.
I'm not worried about you. The timing you're gonna handle fine. Have you thought about what you're going to say? Like, are you going to say, now let's go down to the court at Crypto.com for the retirement ceremony of Pau Gasol?
Here's the chain smokers.
Like, do you know what you're going to say? Or are you going to wing it in the moment? Because I would highly suggest you have a rough idea of what
I'll
you
have
want to
framework, but you also want it to be a little bit organic, right? A little bit of the
I don't think you do in this moment.
organic with the framework.
This is
You can do a combo of the both. You can kind of have. You can have
not
an
a shot.
outline.
You like
have
a
an
shot-
outline of it, but you also
a shot. You need to have the organic that you're talking about because you don't know what kind of shot that's going to be, which part of the game.
Let me give you an example.
But this is just
give you an
I'm
example.
handing this to you.
Let me give you an example. There's 4 seconds left in the game.
Okay.
Right? You get the ball, and you're thinking, I'm going to take 2 dribbles, I'm going to get to the basket, I'm going to shoot. Well, if they threw a double team at you and you had no idea, then you kind of have
but
to think on the fly a little
This
bit.
is you know exactly what you're throwing.
No,
to.
we don't, because the timing of it could be off.
The timing of it is the variable, but what you're throwing to is not variable. It's
that's
entirely
the-
fixed.
Right. We're not. It's not going to be a different jersey.
That's what I'm
going
saying.
up.
So this is why you should probably consider
Well, but he
your
could be.
toss.
There is a person who is going to be there who I'm not going to name who
that's-
is introducing
but that-
Pau. So that's probably who you're
That's
going to
what I'm
want to
saying.
throw
Let's
to.
go down to the court
Oh, so he's
for
not
the
throwing to
retirement
Pau.
ceremony of Pau
No,
Gasol's
he's
jersey.
most likely
Yeah.
not
That's
throwing directly to
that
Pau.
framework.
Oh, well, so now you got a
That framework's
variable
fine.
toss.
I've
This is
got
a variable toss.
Got your back, Al.
You're
I'm
gonna
trying to
have-
You
help
know, we have an outline. We've been given an outline, but it doesn't have all of the specifics.
I think
I
during
think Chris wants like a script.
During Super Crosstalk in about 35 minutes, I would ask John, Ireland. You know, he's done this. Okay? And when you haven't done something before, Slee,
Yeah.
and you're on live radio, you're on the Lakers radio network actually at that moment.
I'm
Oh, he
aware
had
of
to
that.
do it. He had
I'm
to do
aware
it
of that.
pregame for Kobe's last game.
Oh, you did?
No,
No,
Ireland did.
Oh, well,
Oh, yeah,
John's
yeah,
a
yeah,
professional,
yeah.
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 So I would ask John during Super Crosstalk. We'll all be here to remind you to ask John.
Nobody,
Don't worry.
Sliwa, nobody
I'm-
ever gets it right.
I'm not. Everything will be fine. I just love how Chris is so dedicated.
Well, I needed a bit to get through the day.
Almost hoping that it doesn't work out.
I'm trying to help. I think
Sliwa,
my,
I
I
have
think my
faith in
advice was
you.
good.
We
Thank
could
you,
call
man.
Sedano too. You know,
Thank
he
you,
does a
man.
lot of national radio now too. Anyway, coming up
Actually
at
making me more
12:30.
excited about it now.
Coming up at 12:30, I'll tell you about where you need to be on the first day of March Madness. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
So I was watching.
March Madness tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
You caught me a little flat-footed right there.
Yesterday
Well,
when we were talking about it.
yeah. What
You're
about it?
just like we got. I want it to be the same way I feel like 15 years ago it was.
30.
That long? No, for me it was 15. 15 years ago, I used to get
Yeah.
so excited. Maybe because San Diego State can't win a tournament game, that has a lot to do with it. But
Hasn't it, I know you're doing a bit, but honestly, it has nothing
No,
to
the
do
product-
with any.
the product is,
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad, but I'm going to try very, very hard to get on the UCLA bandwagon because it's local, because they're good. Theoretically, they should be able to get on a little bit of a run here. So I'm going to try. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to turn it on. The score is going to be 19-17 at the half of one of these games, and I'm going to be out. That's what it is.
and it's not even good defense because nobody could hit a bucket.
We're going to pass it around. We're going to set 900 screens. It's like can we just have
We're
somebody
going to run the
break someone
clock
down?
out. There's 16 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, it's not great. Anything else on the tournament that you want to throw in there?
That is literally it.
Yeah, it's hopefully we get a couple of Cinderellas for a day or two.
That will happen.
Then
No,
we'll
that
get
will always happen,
North
and
Carolina
everyone will
and UCLA
show,
and the Red and Michigan State or whoever's good. I don't
We'll
even know
have
who's good.
the St. Peter's Peacocks again, maybe.
At
that's
halftime. At
That's
half,
pretty good.
At halftime, there's going to be a
Perfect.
15-2, and it's going to be, oh my gosh, the 15 is within 6
But
points,
see, that's
and then
the
all
point.
that hype's going to
Like,
go up.
What you just described
I'll probably
is
watch the end of that game.
1998, and I'm with you on that. Now it's like, what do I care? The number 2, I don't know a single guy on the number 2. Before, when you're going to take out Grant Hill, you have my full attention. When you're going to take out Sean Elliott,
It's really just the programs, right? That's it.
It's the names. It's like these things that I don't know I don't know a college basketball player other than the kid at Alabama who's in trouble. Still don't even know his name. I just know he's in a really weird spot. I know a couple of the guys at UCLA, and outside of that, I don't know. I know one of the guys at San Diego State because I went to the game on Saturday. His last name is Ledee. He's number 13. He's pretty good, big, strong. That's it.
How's your voice?
I'm great.
Just on a Tuesday doing that, doing the peacock. I get nervous.
Oh no, fine.
Get nervous for you.
I had a salad for lunch yesterday. A lot of water. I'm fully ready to go.
By the way, the Ravens have released a statement about the franchise tagging Lamar Jackson. They said there have been many instances across the league of the Baltimore when a player has been designated with the franchise tag and signed a long-term deal that same year. We will continue to negotiate in good faith with Lamar, and we are hopeful that we can strike a long-term deal that is both fair to Lamar and to the Ravens. Our ultimate goal is to build a championship team with Lamar Jackson leading the way for many years to come.
It's a really weird spot that they're in because I understand Lamar's position. He wants to get paid like one of the best quarterbacks in football because you can make a case that he is. If I'm the Ravens, if I'm staking out my position with the Ravens, right? My position would be, listen, we haven't done a lot of winning with you. You are a running quarterback first, who running quarterbacks do not get better the older they get. We've had the worst performing wide receivers in football. Everybody's pointing at the wide receivers. Oh, these guys aren't. Well, how about the guy that's throwing him the ball? Maybe that's a part of it as well. That he's super exciting. But is he great? He's very, very good. Like, this is one of these, he runs, he's getting older, he takes shots. We don't move the ball really well through the air. At some point, he's going to have to be a guy that moves the ball through the air. We haven't made a bunch of Super Bowl runs or gotten close to Super Bowl.
Sure.
What exactly am I paying top dollar for? Patrick Mahomes.
He's been an MVP. That's the main thing.
And he should have been. When I saw him at the Coliseum against the Rams that season, he won the MVP. I remember Kirk and I looking at each other like, what in the world are we looking at right here? He was unreal. They also lost in the first round of the playoffs that year.
They've won one playoff game. He's played in 4.
That's what I mean. This is not Patrick. This isn't even Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, knocking on wood, at 35 is going to be the same guy, only better than he was at 25. That's not true of Lamar Jackson. It's not.
So this is, by the way, is that not the best thing for everybody? Let him hit that open market. Let's see what other teams would be willing to pay, and Baltimore Ravens are in a position where they can match it, or they could decide.
I wonder what the market for him is, right? Like, just, if the Ravens are, what's the number, $34 million and change, which a lot of money, obviously. We were talking about Derek Carr yesterday. Got $25 million a year,
100 guaranteed.
100
right?
guaranteed. Is there a team that is a Tennessee? The Jets. Is there one of these teams that we think have a lot of good players, but maybe he's missing a quarterback,
and are looking at him as
Raiders.
the Raiders? Exactly right, Em. The Raiders. Or is this one of those teams that the Raiders? By the way, tell me Lamar Jackson wouldn't look awesome in a Raider jersey.
I already see him in
that would be amazing.
In a Raider jersey.
But is he the answer to that particular problem? I don't know. Doesn't feel like it.
Feels like you have to have. But by the way, this is the situation for most quarterbacks in the league. There's got to be a little bit of everything, right? You got to have the right coach. You got to have the right offensive line. You got to have. There's things that you need. If he walks into a situation where everything is in turmoil, that's not going to help him. Baltimore's a very well-run organization, right? They have been.
Yeah.
So maybe they got the best of him, but I think the question that you just proposed of what the market is for him, it's a fair question, and we'll find out.
But think about it like this too: which is of all the teams in the league, who knows him the best? Baltimore, right? Who's deciding we're not going to that 40 million something number? We're not doing that. Baltimore, right? So that if I were one of the other teams, that would inform my decisions. That would inform my decision a great deal because you know what he gives you and what he's likely to give you moving forward, and you're saying it's a little too much for me. I'm using that information to inform my own decisions.
But not everybody is the Baltimore Ravens and has a good organization and makes smart decisions, and all you need is one person to overpay or decide, I want Lamar Jackson representing our jersey.
He's incredibly exciting. He'd be incredibly marketable. You'd be on TV a lot, and I don't know if he'd win a lot of games.
And to be honest with you, there are plenty of teams that might look at that and say that's good enough.
They'll probably
Not plenty, but a few.
You can have a good record with him. It's just, I don't know if you're going to win a lot of playoff games.
Washington. Like, I'm kind of bound. I'm trying to find these places that have very glaring quarterback problems.
And if he doesn't want to move very far from where he lives right now.
Right. That Washington kind of tracks. Look, here's
Atlanta is not interested, though that would be a place that
Atlanta
could go.
would track
but
a lot.
Diana Rossini says that they weren't interested.
What about Miami? There's all sorts of rumors that Miami's not all in on Tua. Tua's got all sorts of health problems. He's from Florida. Like, there are some places. Somebody's going to pay him and be like, I can't believe we paid
Tampa
Lamar
Bay.
Jackson.
And like you just said right there, just takes one.
Yep.
One to overpay.
I want my team to be the team that's willing to let somebody that if you don't buy it, I'm okay with you. Like if you just
Sure.
I was bummed to see him leave, but use this isn't a perfect example because Lamar Jackson is better at what he does than the name I'm about to drop on you. The Dodgers basically looked at Justin Turner and said, "Look, we can't go to a second year. If you want to do it at this price, we'll do it, but you're a fan favorite. We know everybody loves you, but we're going to live with you going somewhere else at a price that we don't think is smart."
Well, and you don't even have to go, even if it's and I don't think it just came down to money, but Trey Turner, you could look at Seager,
All
you could
those
look
guys.
at guys that were getting a ton of money, and the Dodgers made the decision of, no, let's not go with that.
All right, speaking of, we'll come back, talk a little bit about that Dodger-Padre game from yesterday, and when can we get excited about that moving forward? It's Trav and Slee, 710.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good.
When you hear that music, well, first off, you know it's Live Imaging Tuesday with Travis and Sliwa.
Lit.
But also, the madness is coming. And we're waiting for Slee, as usual, to return to the studio.
Maybe he's trying to summon Bill Sharman. He's in the hallway with the board. He's moving it around. You know, we were thinking maybe you took some time to go try to summon Bill Sharman with your Ouija board.
I'll buy it just for that.
Bill, how do you think I should...
Every night you'll communicate.
How should I toss at halftime tonight? By the way, I just got the text. You're going to be on Sedano and Cap Slee on the spot this afternoon. So they can give you some tips, too.
Well, I mean, I'm on there every game.
I know. Anyway, we're playing this music because March Madness is coming. The Madness, the big dance. And the first day, Thursday, March 16th, party, oh party, We are taking over Yamava Resort and Casino, the 909, their newest sports bar, for a tournament tip-off party. That means we will broadcast from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. So make plans now to be at Yamava with us that Thursday, March 16th, to tip off the big dance together. Oh, here comes the hook. You ready? You ready, Slee? Can you feel it? It's going to be a fun day. Thursday, March 16th at Yamava. Slee's going to wear a San Diego State Aztecs jersey.
Do you have one?
No, just have a shirt, not a jersey.
Do you have a hat?
Hat I have, yeah.
Oh, well, you got to wear the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll wear the gear. And we're not going to know. We'll see. You say maybe
You'll
a
know
fifth
Sunday
seed,
night.
something like that.
That's why they call it Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
Slee.
Yeah. Probably about a fifth seed. I'm with you.
5 or 6.
If you're 20th right now in the country, you'll be around there.
It could be a 6. They could get a little RPI in sync.
Huh. Anyway, yeah, Selection Sunday. We should do a Slee Selection Sunday show.
Slee Selection
Then you'd
Sunday
have to
What
show.
does he
toss.
select?
I don't know. You'd have to toss all nonstop to like ESPN. Now back for the West bracket.
Yeah,
We go to Seth
college-
Greenberg, who's breaking
college
down the
basketball.
South.
Jay Billis. Jay Billis is my guy. That's my go-to.
All right. Be sure to be there Thursday, March 16th, and then Saturday, March 18th for pickleball. You got your whole 4 days with us. That 4-day weekend. Make it with us. Right?
Absolutely.
There you go. Travis at Sliwa continues now.
And we've got a new date on our calendar to go do a
Monday.
little pickleball Monday.
I texted Yates.
Is he in?
I don't know. I don't know if he's
Blow
gonna
you
go
off
in.
like you
He
blew
might-
me off today?
He may very well. Now kind of the power's back in.
Well, look, it's always.
Oh, no, he's coming. Yeah, he's coming.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Thank
it's
you,
fun
Yates.
to be invited to things
Yeah.
and then say no. That's the best combination
Yeah.
of events. Hey, would
Yeah,
you like to come? I'd really like to, but no.
He did all caps. I'm sorry. What was that? And then I'd love to.
There you go.
right,
So you got
got our
your. Oh, so who are you going to play with? Are you going to play with Clinton?
I'll probably play with Yates. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Actually, that 4 is a perfect mix. However,
can
it is.
I offer just a little bit? Even
Yeah.
though you should play with Matt because Matt is going to be more similar to me than Yates.
It's awesome. It's awesome. The size, the
Yes.
height,
Oh, yeah.
all that.
Listen, when
Yes.
I see Matt Burke, I go, man, that's Travis.
Tall,
Tall,
athletic,
lean. I mean, very lean.
No, he's leaner than me. Tall, college athletes.
Should I
Tell
tell?
him.
Should I
You
tell him
wouldn't know
also?
what that's about, Chris.
Should I tell him also? Should I say, listen, don't move much,
Right.
Because you've already told me you're not going to be moving much.
Matt and I were talking yesterday because he's been playing a little bit too. That ball that's down by our feet for a tall person, a little bit of a challenging
No, that's
ball.
not easy.
A little bit of a challenging ball.
We got to get Matt in here if he's listening in the back so we can take a side-by-side comparison. Because you guys are twins. I mean, I can't even tell you apart.
Yeah, we do. I think we are pretty similar.
Conceptually, I get where you're going with this.
I think we're very similar. Just tell me that other than I'm a little heavier than him.
No,
what's the
just
difference?
No, actually, I would go the other way. I
Yeah.
think he's heavier than you.
No, that's not true. So you guys are doing a bit. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you that's how it goes.
But that was a real kind of breakdown there where you're like, no, don't play the 8s. Here's
Yeah.
why you go with it.
Should we get Scottie Pippen to come and play for Chris?
Yes.
No, but see, that's ridiculous. Me and Matt are very similar. He's just a little leaner than me and 3 inches taller. Maybe not 3, maybe 2.
And probably, what do you think, he's 26, 27 years old?
He's half my age.
Yeah, he's half your age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I will say it would be better to do that simply for what you just said. But I don't. But
All
that's
of my ideas are good.
that's
Sid.
already going too far with any of it because the fact that
You asked the most
we could
important question
very
of the day.
easily just get out there, play for an hour, and then we're done.
An hour? Look, if this thing goes the way that it's probably going to go, we could be done in
No,
20
no.
minutes.
Thursday
Oh,
we'll play for
I
an
thought you
hour.
were talking about
I was going to say
March
an hour
18th.
is not that much.
No. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about the actual tournament, which is coming up
No,
March
9
18th.
minutes, it's over.
Agape Pickleball Center, Mile Square Park in Fountain Valley. Reserved seating is available. You can register at ESPNLA.com. The event is open to the public. You can come on out and hang out with us. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut. There's a pickleball clinic. There's a kid zone. There's a beer garden. There's complimentary food and drink. There's a DJ. There's basically all sorts of things to do. TVs to watch the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
So I think you and I will be able to watch a lot of basketball if
It's a good chance.
if we make it a half an hour. Like now, I'm not even trying to win a match. I'm just trying to extend whatever match we're in beyond 15 minutes.
What changed with you? Because early on, you were like, hey, Al, we can't be out. We can't be when the first one's out.
It's easy.
And now it's, yeah, but you got that much confidence in everybody else here?
No, but I have no confidence in myself. That's what's changed. right? Like there are a couple of things that I know that I can do reasonably well. Like if this were just ping pong and I don't have to move a ton, I would not say I'm the best ping pong player here, but I know I'm not the worst. I know that I'm somewhere north of the middle. I'm south of the middle in this game. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
and unless you're really, really good at it, we're in deep trouble.
All I've seen is Berg, Jorge, and AK so far. And I think all of them would give me indication that, it's anybody's game.
Get him in here. Hurry up. Matt, come in here. We need to do this.
Burke's going to play Thursday.
Sit down a second. I want to talk about this for a second before we get it. So you and I were having the conversation yesterday about pickleball, right? And we were both talking about how, as tall people, how tall are you?
6'6".
You're 6. Okay, so you're 3 inches taller than I am. Okay. And I said when you guys are going to play on Thursday that you guys should play together because it more closely resembles when I'm going to play with Al. Tall player with Alan, right? And everybody was giving me a hard time because they don't think that you and I look anything alike. What do you think about that?
I think so. I think you could also be in my team, sexy, classy, just like Chris.
See? Am I that far off that look, you're taller than I am and maybe you're in a little bit better shape and you're half my age, but I think that if we walked around, people would think, are you guys brothers?
Absolutely. Your big brother.
I think you have a much bigger brother.
I think you had a conceptual idea there, but let's not go as that's my brother.
Why not?
Let's not go as...
Why?
Yeah, why don't you guys get a little closer together?
We'll take a picture during the break.
Yeah.
So I want to hear it from your lips. Why?
Yeah. You guys just don't look anything alike.
Sure we do. We're both tall.
You're
Trev,
twice
you have a
his
little more
age.
meat on your body.
A little bit more meat on the body.
I've already stipulated that I'm a little heavier than Matt. A little older.
I think Burke, once he's out there, it's going to actually look like somebody who is, how old are you, 26, 27?
27 will be
27
he's
years
young
old.
and
That's
athletic.
It's going to look like
I'm
that.
old and athletic. What are you
has
talking
a
about?
dad bod.
It's like the Kelsey brothers.
Thank you, Taylor.
Oh, jeez.
Taylor's probably pretty athletic too, though.
Yeah. See?
Now that would be a much better. Now we're.
What do you mean?
Now it's a little.
You are a
closer to
college
the top.
athlete, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
And you, yeah.
Yeah. See? The similarities basically never
exactly.
stop.
Identical.
Yeah.
It's identical.
Work at the same place.
Yes. Similar interests.
Burke, I'll probably play a couple rounds with you, but I kind of just whatever that 4 looks like. Yates is in, so we got our 4. Ron is in. But I get the concept. We'll play with you a couple times, so I kind of get an idea having.
You really, you just refuse to call me fat, don't you?
No, I'm not going to call you
big boned.
Yeah,
You just have a dad bod.
Well, no, I call myself that all the time. It's okay.
You demolished yourself on Saturday with the red shirt, the Kool-Aid.
I look like a Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah,
and I was
like crashing through a brick wall.
I was like, no, you're fine. No, you're fine.
It's okay. You know, when you're friends with somebody, you can be a little mean to them. It's a sign of affection. When you don't say something mean to somebody, it means I really don't like you at all.
Yeah, that's why I don't say anything mean.
So that's what I'm starting to get from you. That you have absolutely.
I
no
like the way you
connection with
flip
me
that.
at all.
Hey, if you don't say anything mean, you actually don't like me.
Right.
What are you doing?
That's what.
No.
Just
Matt,
tell him he's
your
beefy.
friends. Do you crush your buddies?
Oh yeah, that means you love them.
Right.
You're closest to the ones you can really lay into.
Exactly.
You're thick.
Closer.
How many
With 2
C's?
Yeah, 2. We got 2 C's for sure.
You're thick Van XL.
I like you trying to stick up for me, Matt. Thank you.
Anytime, man.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Who's your partner for Team Sexy? What is it?
Sexy, classy. It's
Sexy,
Morales.
classy.
Saying we haven't figured out who's who yet.
I was just you beat me to it.
Morales is going to be calling the games and playing. He's going to have a hot mic on
What
while
if
he's
Chris
playing.
decides that he has more MC responsibilities than playing responsibilities?
We're gonna have
Do
to
you-
bring
do you have a
somebody in.
backup?
No, we don't yet. Actually,
Sleep?
Chris though might.
You should after we get bounced. You should go play with Matt.
Bro, we got to have. I think we go in a round. Go in one round. It's all going to come down to our seeding. It's all going to come down to who we play against. Jorge and Berg. I think it's a good match.
I thought it was a good match until I played a few times, and I'm bad at this. I want
your confidence
I
level is just.
So I went out with my buddy Brad, and we're
But
playing.
you played once,
and
right?
the
You didn't play
We
twos.
did play once. And the first time, I kind of hung around with him, right? Like, he beat me, but it wasn't embarrassing.
Yep.
Next time we played, kind of lopsided, and then the third time we went out there, he wiped the court with me. So I'm getting worse. It's going in the wrong direction.
AK was pretty good.
I find that hard to believe. See,
It looks pretty intense.
That
That's
means
all
I
I
like
think.
Andy. That I gave him a hard time.
pretty good.
Means that I like Andy. The Dub coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ES.
It's time for everything we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
Phillip Rivers, Slee, that Phillip Rivers of your San Diego Chargers and then briefly with the LA Chargers, contacted both the Dolphins and 49ers last year about unretiring and joining their teams. There's always that guy, right? A guy or two that is just left the league, that's probably well past the time where he can be an effective player. But the question becomes, is Phillip Rivers a better option than Josh Johnson? Is Phillip Rivers a better option than, quite frankly, Bryce Perkins or John Wolford? Those are the sorts of that those guys can kind of slide in and grab one of those gigs.
Well, it's interesting, too, because it's Phillip Rivers contacting the teams.
Right.
It's not the teams contacting him. It's like a sales pitch that he's putting out. Yeah, I've been in the league for a long time.
Interview. Only Phillip Rivers' Zoom was open. The teams didn't turn on
Only
their
that
cameras.
video was on. That's pretty funny. Listen, I think you kind of have a good idea. In the NFL, the quarterback position is everything. So if you could just have a steady quarterback that's been in the situation before, I get his pitch. But I also get that nobody gave him an opportunity past how many years was he in the league?
It's got to be close to 20, right? I mean, it's at least 15. Somewhere,
at least 15.
Yeah, I was
going
to say it's probably somewhere 16, 17, somewhere in there. And look, he was really, really good. I think he's going to be one of those guys, Slee, that if you weren't a Charger fan, whether San Diego or Los Angeles, he's going to get lost to the time. Because he didn't win a Super Bowl. You're never going to see those old Super Bowl highlight videos.
And his draft class won Super Bowls.
And he's got great numbers, but the numbers won't stand because the league obviously is changing and everybody's throwing for 1 million yards. He was really, really good, but just kind of never got over the top like that.
17 years, I think. One with Indy, so 17 years.
He was terrific. Sticking with quarterbacks, did you see where the Niners are kicking tires on quarterbacks coming into this season? You see the names that they're thinking about bringing in to kind of backstop Purdy and Lance potentially?
I have not seen it.
Matt Ryan, Andy Dalton, and there's one other that I'm forgetting.
Baker Mayfield.
These are the guys, and there's one more too. Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are probably thinking, all right, maybe if Brock Purdy's elbow doesn't heal in time, and maybe if Trey Lance has a bit of a slow step or a slow recovery, maybe there's an opportunity, because Matt Ryan and Andy Dalton were about as washed as NFL quarterbacks as you're ever going to see.
Yeah, I mean, how many quarterbacks did the Niners end up using over the course of 4 of them, right?
They used 4. So did the Rams.
Rams used 4 as well.
Yeah, the difference is they went to the NFC Championship game a little bit different. The Rams were...
How about Purdy in that NFC Championship? Literally couldn't do anything.
Well, he got his elbow torn
Literally,
off.
And it was still out there and still handing the ball off.
That was one of those you should have probably gone to Christian McCaffrey running the single wing. Or the punter or whoever was out there. Yeah, something.
Tried something
because
else.
That didn't work. Staying with quarterbacks again, today was the day in 2016 that Peyton Manning retired from the NFL. Emily and I were talking about this morning. To me, it seems like Peyton Manning was in the NFL far more recently than 7 years ago. She felt like he had retired a really long time ago.
Yeah, it feels like it's so long since Peyton's been in the league.
What about you?
7 seems that's about right. That's about I was such a fan. Every time there was a matchup, him obviously and Tom Brady, it was always that was so much bigger than the actual teams and anything else was those two guys. But 7 sounds about right. Maybe I see what you're saying, that it seems like he was in the league a little bit sooner. And I could also kind of understand that. No, it must have been over 10 years ago. 7 sounds about right.
If you would have told me, and I know he's in the Hall of Fame, so that's at least 5 years. But if you would have told me, they gave him a waiver and he's only been out of the league 3 years, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I believe you. It did not seem like he's been out a long time.
It also feels to me like, it could have happened in 2010. It could have been 12 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that to me. What do you think he does? Obviously, he's got his Monday Night Football gig that is very successful, and very popular.
And a lot of people trying to kind of copy that concept.
Peyton's Places. He has a lot of other media.
I would think for somebody with his resume and his accomplishments, and knowing that he can do the Manning cast and it's a hit, that he can do Peyton Places and it's a hit. Is media what he wants to do? That seems like a low bar for somebody of Peyton Manning's skill set. That he's good on TV. He obviously is great on TV. But what does he do? Does he want to run a team? Does he want to run the league? Like what is the next big job for Peyton Manning? Because he's very bright, very personable, super popular. What does he do?
When you said that to join a media company or, whatever the networks,
being
right?
on TV is too easy of a job
I
for
was
him.
going to say, I'm like, no, that doesn't – I don't think that for his skill set –
being on TV is the right job for Eli.
How about this? Last week we were talking about this. Best people to host on SNL athletes. And for me, I thought Peyton right away. Like, he's that good where he can do that.
Sure.
I don't know. You see him in a front office anywhere?
Denver.
Further up, an ownership group. That's, to me, what is intriguing. Like, maybe, I don't know if he's got ownership money, but not unlike what Magic has done with the Dodgers,
group,
right? Where
have
he's
a
part of a
percentage.
group where he's kind of the front man for the ownership group, at least to a point. And, oh, by the way, maybe I have my thumb in the management of the football team from a football perspective. But this is a very shrewd guy. This is a very smart guy that can do a lot of different things. Yucking it up on Monday Night Football seems like a low bar for him.
Also, another low-key thing that I would like to see him do, or that if he did it, I would be like, this is really cool. If he was like a showrunner on some sort of like dramatized NFL show, like a similar thing to Winning Time, but if he was the showrunner of something similar to Winning Time, but from football, I think that'd be kind of funny.
You're too young to remember. They did that, and the show was awesome, and it was way too real, and the NFL said, you know what would be a good idea? If that show didn't exist anymore. And that show went
But if it was
gone.
Peyton doing it, would they...
Well, that's the point. But the point is, for the show to be the show that we all want, I think, Peyton would not give up that. Do you remember that show, Playmakers?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my gosh. It was on ESPN. It was a dramatized version of a professional football league, and they let it rip. And the NFL went, no, we're fine with it, but, we don't love it.
Or maybe like he could do the high school level, like the Friday Night Lights, but funny.
I could see...
It went away like that.
There's power right there.
Yeah, they went, it's all right.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take that off.
Yeah.
I can't see him... I don't know if I could see him like a John Lynch role. I don't think I see him doing that either. Yeah,
Farther
I agree
up.
with you. No, I agree with you.
He strikes
a general manager role. I'm with you. I don't see him doing that.
Let me throw a big one at you.
Listen, the ownership stake, the 5%, 10%, something like that.
Peyton Manning be a good commissioner of the league? He's certainly got the gravitas. He's certainly got the name. Does he have... He understands media really, really well. I don't know if he understands the business side of it, but...
He probably does.
I think he might.
He probably
but would
does.
we start to hate him? And I don't want to see that happen with Peyton Manning.
Perhaps, and that's a good point, Em, but it's also a job that seems like something that would hold his attention. That's... He loves the NFL, right? You remember his Hall of Fame induction speech was about this league has given me everything that I have.
I think you did nail it on the, no, that's not good enough. Okay, what's next? Higher. No, that's not good enough.
Yeah,
what's next?
Higher.
Commissioner, owner, that's interesting.
That seems like where it is. I would be remiss if I didn't wish Jenna Fisher a very happy 49th birthday. One of my favorite TV shows. She's one of my favorite characters on said TV show. And
that's your girl.
If Jenna Fisher's in something, I'll watch it.
That's okay. What have you watched that she's been in?
I've seen most of the movies that she's been in. Certainly all the mainstream movies.
Splitting Up Together. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Terrible show. Watched every episode.
What about the Blue Man? Like
That's when you know you love her. I hated the show.
There was
the
one where she actually met her husband doing it. It's like the Blue Man thing.
I don't know that.
The Robot Man. It's like a very indie film.
Okay. And
that's what she and her husband did together. That's kind of how they.
I don't know what Travis is doing tonight.
Yeah,
watching
Splitting
an
Up
indie
Together
film.
was not good, and I think I've seen every episode more than once. Big Jenna Fisher fan. That's what I'm telling you. It's time for a little Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Sliwa?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
AK in the house for Mason today. Ireland is here.
So I did not know your history with Jenna Fisher, so I'm guessing you're a big Office fan.
Yes, I am.
All right, so you guys know Ryan Russillo, right?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. The biggest and maybe only argument I've ever had with Russillo is he is convinced and will defend his argument that the character of Pam Beesly in The Office is evil.
I've heard this.
That, she's kind of America's sweetheart. She finally ends up with John Krasinski, with Jim, and Russillo's take is, hold it. She was engaged to Roy, her boyfriend. She cheats on him behind his back, goes with Jim, who had a girlfriend. Jim was with Rashida Jones. Breaks up that relationship, and then basically emasculates Jim for the whole second half of The Office and makes him do whatever she wants. And he's
not a bad take.
Yeah, he says that he doesn't understand why she's popular because she's kind of evil. The other thing I heard, I was listening to. Do you guys ever listen to the Rewatchables podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So basically, it's Bill Simmons and all the folks at Grantland go back over
The Ringer.
old movies.
The Ringer.
Oh, thank you, Grantland. Wow, that's old school. That was Bill's last site. So at the Ringer, 3 of the girls, I think it was Mallory Rubin and Juliette Littman. The other weird take is that Becca from Pitch Perfect, is horrible.
She's the lead. That's Anna Kendrick's character.
Anna Kendrick in that movie is bad friend, bad daughter.
That's true.
Bad girlfriend.
I'll sign up for that one. I'll sign up for that one.
Bad everything that she's just. And the whole list of the she comes out of that movie as kind of the hero. Their whole take is Becca sucks.
Well, I'm far more agreeable to that than anything negative about Jenna Fisher.
I think
never.
The Pam and Jim thing, the reason why I get the take, but it's because they had the history, is because he leaves that office and has to go to the New York office.
That's another point of Russillo's. She ruined his life to the point where he had to leave town to get away from her.
But then when he comes back, right, she basically goes out of her way to sabotage the relationship she has with Rashida Jones.
Right. And she screws over Roy, who admittedly had a temper.
Well, you guys have heard before, I guess it would be sort of the alternate fan fiction or however you want to put this, that in The Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso is really the villain.
It's not the alternate version. It's the truth.
Right. Like, because if they present
which one?
The first one. The first one.
How is he the
Let's
villain?
Hear it.
Because
Let's hear it.
all
Let's
they're
hear it.
doing is they come down to the beach. He picks a fight with Billy Zabka. Then he ruins his joint at the dance. Then he goes out of his way to constantly antagonize. They never pick on him until he starts picking on them.
In the beginning, too, you hear...
What are you talking about? Wait a minute. What
he
about
gets
the
picked
Halloween
on.
party?
Doesn't he get picked on the whole time?
He
started it.
He does.
They're in the bathroom rolling a joint.
Yeah.
He's the
Minding
one that
their own
brings the
business.
hose in there and soaks it. That's when they attack him after they ruined his joint.
Plus, at the top
I gotta go back and watch
At the top of it, too, when you first see Johnny Lawrence and the moped gang, he's talking about how it's his senior year. He just wants to get it together. He turns down a beer, like he's offered a beer. Maybe he had a problem before, partying too hard. He just wants to get things together during his senior year. And LaRusso is actually the instigator. And all of this stuff, by the way, carries through to Cobra Kai.
Well, Cobra Kai, he actually is kind of a bad guy, right?
Daniel never lets anything go. He's always in the middle of instigating these things that basically ruin his children's life.
Yes.
Like, he's actually kind of a bad dude.
Next, you're going to tell me Mr. Miyagi was a bad guy, too.
No, he was
and
great.
a bad influence.
No, Daniel did not take the Miyagi message to heart.
No,
he was an instigator.
If anything, Johnny Lawrence, especially as time has gone along, has been much more of a Miyagi-Do student, even if he doesn't realize it. He doesn't even know it, but he actually subscribes to more of the Miyagi principles. He at least wants to be a better person, even if he's incapable of it. Daniel's the guy that has everything and can't ever be happy.
All right, circling back to
Don't have to convince me, Andy.
Okay, circling back to Pitch Perfect. Another hot take from Pitch Perfect. At the end, didn't the trebles actually outperform the girls?
The Bellas?
The Bellas. Weren't the trebles better?
I've never seen Pitch Perfect.
I don't.
What?
I've seen it.
Andy, that should be...
I have not seen it either.
What? There's been 3 of them. You haven't seen any of them?
Mm-mm.
They get progressively
I've only
worse.
seen
Emily,
the
you've
third.
seen all of them.
Yeah,
right?
and you're completely
Watch one of
right.
them?
The boys were
I've
so
watched
much better.
all three of
Should
them.
I watch one of them?
No, you would not like it.
What are you? No, the original Pitch Perfect is fantastic. You'll like for nothing else that Rebel Wilson calls herself Fat Amy for the whole movie and makes fat jokes about herself. And do
you like musicals?
Because as you know, Sleed, this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Do I?
It's okay to say no.
Did I see Book of Mormon because of you? Did you
Yeah,
tell me to
I'm
see
the
it?
world's
I
biggest
think
Book
you
of
did.
Mormon fan. And did you like it?
It was unbelievable.
Did you like it because it was a musical or because it was funny?
Oh, it was funny as hell.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're not going
I
to
lean
Oklahoma
more towards
and South Pacific.
But that was
in your spare
everything.
time.
No, I'm not.
Unlike this guy over here.
T-Raj, I'm not. You're right.
Yeah.
But that was also just shocking. Every 1 minute that went by, I was more amazed at what was happening.
That's not the entry to musicals, though. That is a comedy as a musical. Musicals are Oklahoma, South Pacific,
Yeah.
these sorts
Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music. And I don't
So
think
I
it's
would
for
not
you,
probably
Slee.
lean on
I don't think it's for
No,
you.
I think you would. Do me a favor. Sometime in the next. Emily, don't you think Sliwa would like the first Pitch Perfect? The other two are a little.
She's not listening to you, John.
Oh, she's in the middle of something.
I did The Wire because of John.
Wire's very
That's
good.
a little different. Did you jump from
There's
Pitch
only-
Perfect to The Wire?
I'm giving him credit
Is an
for what he
incredible
There's
suggested.
only
movie.
3 musical numbers in all 5 seasons of The Wire combined, Alan. That's a
All right.
terrible example.
No. Okay, so unique.
It was a
musical-
suggestion that John gave me.
Okay, unique musical fact about The Wire.
Omar.
Okay. The title song from The Wire is a song called "Way Down in a Hole."
Mm-hmm.
This is the only show that I've ever seen do this. 5 different versions of "Way Down in the Hole" for each of the 5 seasons.
Different artist.
So if you go, it's the same song, just different renditions of it every year.
Yeah.
And they're all good. So I thought that was a really unique, kind of cool thing that they did.
John, I'm going to lean on your expertise here for a second. Not on musicals, but
Okay.
on Lakers stuff for
Okay.
a second. And not necessarily basketball, but rather the ceremony that's going to take place tonight.
Yeah. I heard you say, Sleet, you're totally covered here. First of all, I don't know. Amanda was saying that she thought that's if they're on time. They have to be on time.
They get fined if they're not, right?
Yeah, it's at halftime. So and by the way,
It's a TV clock or
nobody,
whatever.
yeah, nobody does ceremony like the Lakers. They're great at it. You can rip the Lakers for front office moves, or why did they give Nick Young money or whatever. Anytime the Lakers have to put on a show, even if it's shrouded in
Nick Young catching strays.
yeah,
Nick Young listening, saying, "What the hell just happened here?"
But you will have
left the team 7 years ago.
the clock. I'll throw it. The first half will end. I'll throw it to a break. You got a minute to kind of get your act together, and then you're going to have a minute, and they're going to go, and you're not going to have to worry about anything.
No, Chris just wants to create the drama of it.
Oh, here comes Chris.
Well, that's his job. He's a drama creator. What a misery profiteer, or whatever the terminology we're using.
But John, how would you, as a professional, you've done this many times, how would you toss to this? Because I think that's what we're worried about, Sleep.
Well, what you have to do is, and Chris knows this from radio DJ days, is you've got to smack the open. In other words, there can't be like 30 seconds of, and now here's Lawrence Tanner, and then we
it's
wait
just
30
silence.
seconds.
Yeah.
You got to walk.
You got to kiss it.
You got to walk right up to it.
Got to hit the post.
And
Sleep.
right, hit the post is what they say in the business. But you'll be fine.
Can Lawrence give me a?
No, just watch him.
You don't want to step on it, right, John, as we say in the business?
Just watch him. You'll get a good sense of it. By the way, if you want to, there's a run through. Would that help you?
I'll probably be there anyways. Because if they're doing a run through,
you will not. But I can tell you what time it's at and where to go.
Would you?
Oh, you're saying they're not going to do that? Yeah.
Predetermine how you're going to throw to it, or would you let the moment strike you and then just kind of win?
Yeah, I don't think you have to. I think it'll be.
This isn't Kobe's final game.
Yeah, but for you, Alan, it is.
It is.
Yeah. This actually is your equivalent of calling Kobe's 81 is 60.
Yeah.
LeBron, when John, his great call of LeBron becoming the all-time scoring leader.
Yep.
This is
your
that.
they will take away my third quarter update.
I'm just saying everybody's going to remember this. Like if you screw
and no one's taking away the third quarter update because I don't want to talk.
Like if you F this
when they
up,
came to me with the Rams, like we're not going to do the first and third quarter update. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah,
excellent.
Good luck.
Michael and I both want to talk less.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
Good luck going to Barcelona, Alan. If you screw this up. You will never be able to go to Spain for the rest of your life.
Step foot in that country.
All right, so real quick, I kind of on the Pau topic here. If we're stipulating that Hakeem and Dirk are two of the 5 greatest international players of all time.
Okay.
Who are the other 3?
Michael's going to love this topic.
Okay.
By the way, is that a fair stipulation that Hakeem and Dirk are automatics?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree. I'm ready to put Giannis in.
Okay.
Giannis is already in the top 5.
We're okay with that?
I would agree with that.
What about Jokic? He's about to win his 3rd MVP in a row.
I am ready to put Jokic
in. Michael loves Joel Embiid. As a matter of fact, Michael wanted to do something, and if he had a vote, he would do it. He said that even if Jokic wins MVP this year, which he could, Michael would make him second team All-NBA.
First team All-NBA,
yeah.
Behind Embiid.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But
I said to him, I go, Michael, that's never happened in the history of the league. And a guy named Tom Johnson, who used to run the local newspaper in my hometown of Corona Del Mar, texted me and said, you're wrong. It's happened once before. Kareem in 1973 was the NBA first team All-NBA center. And the MVP that year was Dave Cowens, who was second team All-NBA.
No kidding.
So it wouldn't be unprecedented if it happened.
Here's the list. And speaking of Michael's taught me that whenever there's a list, Wilt Chamberlain is on it. There are 3 guys that have won 3 consecutive MVPs. Jokic would make the 4th. The 3 guys.
So it's got to be Bird was one, right?
Bird.
Was
Bill
Kareem
Russell.
the other one or Bill Russell?
Bill Russell and Chamberlain. And if Jokic does that, I mean, isn't he? Come on, look at the company
I'm ready.
keeping.
Jokic is the best passing big man in NBA history while putting up 20-something points a game and 10-something rebounds. I'm ready to put him in there.
We've got Jokic, we've got Giannis, we've got
this is
Dirk.
Perkins isn't impressed. What about Steve Nash? 2 MVPs. Steve
Kendrick
Nash.
Perkins isn't impressed.
By the way, let me throw Tony Parker.
I would put Nash ahead of Tony Parker.
Yeah.
Even though Tony Parker's really good.
Nash is a
Ginobili
2-time
popped
MVP.
into my head, but I don't think he makes top 5. Right now, as we stand here, Pau has a better resume than Joel Embiid, but I think Embiid's going to pass him. Would you agree with that, Michael? Pau right now has a better resume, but Embiid eventually will pass.
I guess
Are we
the
not
question,
throwing Luka into this at all? Too early?
Same thing.
But I guess that's the question. The question is, how much are you going to weigh in the championships, or do you weigh it less when you're talking about, hey, these are individual players, international players?
It's all of it.
Because
it's team success, it's
some
individual
of it is
success.
just how great do you think they were?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we do have eyes. We watch the game. Sometimes championships are just circumstances.
Right.
What I learned from Pau more than anything else is that fit matters. And this is what I mean. Not everybody was built to play with Kobe. Because Kobe was so ball dominant, he was so personality dominant, he was so driven that he not only was he going to have the ball in the fourth quarter, if you didn't give it to him, he would come and take it. I mean, that's how
literally.
Yeah.
Ask Ramon Sessions how that goes.
Yeah. So Pau comes along. I still remember the day he got here, February 1st, 2008. And he had been in the playoffs in Memphis, but he didn't have any wins. He'd been swept 3 times, and they traded him. And he got here, and in Memphis, he was the A, the best player on that team. And on our team, he was going to be the B to Kobe. And I realized after a couple of games that he was so much better than everybody else's B. He was almost an A- because he fit perfectly with Kobe, and here's why. He had a unique ability, and this is harder than it sounds, all right? There's not a lot of guys who can do this, maybe 10 in the whole world, to catch and finish with either hand. So I would see Kobe come flying down the lane, out of control, double, triple teamed. He would throw a pass, and no matter where he threw it, if he threw it in the general vicinity of Gasol, he could throw it at his ankles, he could throw it over his head, he could throw it behind his back, and it didn't matter. Pau would catch it, and then wherever he was when he caught it, he would spin to whatever was easier and score with either hand. And I went, wow, they're not going to be able to guard these guys. And all of a sudden I realized, well, they already are doubling Kobe. Now they're going to have to double Pau. And that was the emergence of Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher.
Yep.
Horry.
Ori's gone.
Part of the first group, yeah.
But all the other guys, Andy, became better because Pau was. He just didn't make any mistakes.
We also just underestimate how great you have to be a quality number 2 on a championship team. Like, most players in the league aren't that good. Like,
you have to be Anthony Davis good.
Right.
I mean, you have to be Pau Gasol good.
Or Dwayne Wade good.
Or, when people talk about, that guy can't be the number 1 player on a championship team.
Yeah, there are 7 of those.
Yeah, okay, great. Neither can 98.7%
I'll give
of
you
the
NBA players.
I'll give you a great example of if he asked for a trade or got traded, who would be what Pau was to the Lakers. In other words, he's an A who hasn't been able to win where he is. But if he went to a team as a B, he would almost be an A-, is Lillard. If Lillard is probably not good enough to lead Portland to a championship, but if he left and went anywhere where they had, like if he went to Milwaukee, if he was the guy going to Phoenix, if he went to Dallas,
with Embiid,
if he went to Philadelphia, he would be a much better fit than even Harden is because he's so good.
I think Lillard's actually good enough. He hasn't had a team good enough around him. But I understand what you're saying.
He might be the line. He's that guy that.
you need 2 A-.
He made it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble. That's as far as he's gone.
He's put away. He went to the Western Conference Finals not in the bubble. That was Denver.
He did.
Oh,
that was the year
they played the Pelicans, or
they played the Warriors.
It worked out.
The Warriors.
They lost in the
beat
Western Conference
Pelicans,
Finals to the Warriors, but it worked out to advantage of Portland to win a series without getting.
I don't think Dame has had a team legitimately good enough.
Super Crosstalk, powered by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about.